All right. It is time for the Paranormal Happy Hour, a show that combines booze and booze, spirits and spirits, UFOs with mojitos, cryptozoology with mixology, where we head to the bar and trade stories of unexplained experiences from those who experienced them. I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Sagers, and I am joined by my cohorts.
Does it look like I just got out of the pool?
No, you look somewhat moist.
I'm very, very moist. Okay, we are
Not because we're hanging
Yeah,
out together.
No, that has nothing to do with it. No, it's completely unrelated to that. But we are broadcasting live from what is this? Collegeville, Pennsylvania. What's the name of this town?
This is Collegeville,
Right,
Pennsylvania.
Collegeville,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
But it's very close to where we'll be all day tomorrow and Sunday, which is Pennhurst Asylum. It's the Pennhurst Paracon. I don't. How many years is this? Anybody know?
I think it's the second official year of
Second?
Pennhurst Paracon. But yeah, Pennhurst, the asylum.
Yeah, and the paranormal energy that decided it was going to make it 100 degrees with 70% humidity or worse.
Purely paranormal that is causing this evening. Yeah, although this is like it's almost 11 p.m. here on the East Coast, and it is still quite warm and quite humid, and but you know what? It's better than it was a couple hours ago.
Yeah, no, that's true.
And better than it will be tomorrow.
That's absolutely true. 2 hours ago, I think it was 98, 99 degrees. I think we've cooled down to a nice, even 87 or so.
Yeah, it's a comfy 87. Although, like, to be fair, like, not to get too serious too quickly, but like, can you imagine if you actually were at Pennhurst? I mean, Pennhurst. I don't know, what level of history all of you guys out there know about it, but it was initially known as the Eastern Pennsylvania State Institution for the Feeble-Minded and Epileptic, and it opened in 1903, and it closed in fairly late. I think it was 1987 that it closed. It was still pretty late.
Yeah, and the neat thing about a facility like that, and almost every state definitely has one, but also most counties had their own version of an almshouse or whatever they happen to call it, where they put people that they didn't know what to do with. And these homes became filled with sometimes unspeakable tragedies.
Right. Well, it started out with like, okay, we'll put people with various, illnesses, ailments that we don't know what to do with. And then it becomes a home of, like, mentally ill. It becomes a home of sometimes criminals. It becomes, like, just everyone.
Undesirables in any one way, shape, or form.
And then, of course, from that, springs abuse, overcrowding. At Pennhurst in particular, there are eugenics experiments that took place.
Yeah.
A lot of really dark, terrible, sad things, which is no surprise that it also then led to ghost stories.
Hey, can you tell our cameraman that camera one needs to be turned this way?
Slightly.
Just a hair.
Slightly.
Just a hair.
Just a hair.
See, now the neat thing about this particular broadcast is this is the first one. You and I have been talking about doing this for a while.
For a bit of time, yeah.
Yeah, we want to present somewhat of an informal approach to discussing paranormal topics, but yet have a serious conversation with some serious people at the same time.
Well, and some
The
not
other
so
way.
serious people.
And some not so. Yeah, the other way. That's good. Not a little more.
Your other right.
Little more. No,
Yeah,
you're going the
yeah.
right way before.
Yeah.
Just a hair more perfect.
So
Perfect. I'll let you know when somebody sits in that chair.
Well, isn't there someone sitting in that chair right now? It's
Let's take a look at that camera.
yeah. There's camera. Oh,
Now there's somebody. Oh, that's perfect. Framed beautifully,
that
actually.
is beautifully.
Yeah. He's not next to the microphone, but that's all right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the point of this whole
Yeah,
thing, this
exactly.
endeavor of the paranormal happy hour, as thus it has been deemed. Not yet. No, you're still. We already have guests waiting to jump in. This is how hot of a show this already is. Literally, not only figuratively, but literally
Very
a hot
hot.
show.
Very hot.
So like you talk about like our point behind this. We've been going back and forth on this for a while.
Yeah, no, we recognize. First of all, Aaron and I have both been involved in the paranormal community in one way, shape, or form for the best of 20 years now, and we know a lot of people, we know a lot of places, and we know a lot of stories, and all of those things add up to some really good discussions. And no better way to coax some of those discussions out than doing it with a beverage with a little bit of ice in there, especially tonight, and having an informal conversation with people who either experienced it, heard the stories, know the stories, whatever it happens to be.
Well, the thing that I've learned, and we talked about this before, is like I've been fortunate to talk about the paranormal all over the world, as a journalist, as a presenter, and my feeling is that wherever I go, any bar in the world I go to, you can find someone that wants to tell a story, a ghost story, urban legend story, some sort of monster UFO story. And the thing is, the great thing about it, the thing I love, is that you can sit at the bar and even without bringing up what we do, that this is part of our jobs, someone will bring up a ghost story and someone else at the bar will be like, well, I don't believe any of that. Like all that ghost stuff, it's hooey. But there was this one time,
exactly. Always,
and then it leads to like a whole thing, and I think that was sort of the impetus behind this, is that let's bring the bar to the paranormal, not just the paranormal to the bar. So we're trying to keep it kind of informal, fun, and have some drinks involved. And I currently have some nice Tito's vodka with some soda water. And I'm about to bust into a cigar. It looks like a Mark Twain over there. And because, you know what? I like to have, as I said at the top of the show, my booze with some booze, some spirits with some spirits.
Yeah, so we have some friends here that supplied these beverages on this table. They're very anxious for us to drink them. We probably should do that.
Yes.
What
cheers,
is this?
by the way.
Yeah. Cheers. Absolutely.
I know. And then there's another thing in front of us too.
The white cup.
Where's your drink? We haven't even brought you on the show yet, but you need a drink. Well, before you get on the show, get a drink. Get a damn drink.
Got my drink.
All right. No, we'll bring him in a moment.
Yeah, we'll bring him in a second. Oh, he's going to toast, so we got to bring him in here.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to tweak a few things here. So
right.
Forgive my silence for just a second.
And we do have a small audience joining us outside of Pennhurst. So here's the thing: is that yes.
Whoa! Put your tops back on, women.
Wow.
It's not that kind of show. Yeah.
Well, we never said it wasn't.
I said yet.
And
Still early.
Do you have any fire over there?
Oh my God, are you just high maintenance or what?
Yes, I'm high maintenance because I want to set my cigar on fire.
Hold out for credit on the show now.
Is this going to bother you if I
No, please, by all means. And
Minimal.
forgive me for doing that. Part of our setup here doesn't allow some of the things I'm used to, so I'm trying to pull up our chat room on the phone here because I can't do it on the computer.
So this is live?
This is live.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This is live in
And we're being spread out over the world?
over the world, over the interwebs.
Would you say over the universe?
I'd say absolutely over
Eventually.
the universe.
I just want to
eventually.
hear you say over the universe. That's okay.
Hang on.
Cool.
We got bunches of people. I'm trying to chat. Okay, so anyway, again, back to the point of all this. Here at Pennhurst, we've got a collection of paranormal guests that we're going to be talking to throughout the weekend. We're going to be doing, a couple of these broadcasts during the day tomorrow. This is kind of a warm-up for us just to kind of ease into this while we've got the cigars and the booze in front of us. But people like, who's here? Grant Wilson, Dave Tango.
Steve Gonzalez, John Zaffis, of course, Katrina Weidman, Brian Cano, you, me,
and the gentleman you have sitting next to you.
the gentleman. We're getting to him. I feel like it's a good idea sometimes just to let him wait a little bit. Sometimes the best sauce comes after you simmer it.
I'm walking off this show.
It's all right. Kill his mic. it's that kind of show.
But we're going to have an opportunity to talk to all these folks, or at least most of them, if schedules permitting. And it's in addition to being very hot, there's going to be a lot of people here tomorrow, and everybody's table will be quite busy. So we'll steal them away as we can. We're going to have these conversations. We're also going to ask you through our chat rooms, both on Facebook and on YouTube, to submit your questions and join the conversation with us.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we're really striving for here is to push the conversation forward by not just talking about the standard things within the paranormal that we typically hear about. And by the way, for anyone that's looking at this on the live stream, I'm not wearing sunglasses because I'm trying to be cool or have some sort of affectation. It's more like there is a super bright light right in my eyes, so it's that. But yeah, it's like it burns, it burns. Yes, I mean, no, I'm super cool without the sunglasses. Just kidding.
That light, by the way, I had to steal off the side of the hotel. It's their security parking lot light. So
I'm not even questioning you. That's one. I believe it. So yeah, pushing the conversation forward, like talking about things beyond the standard stuff that we hear about, because I feel like the paranormal genre as an entertainment component has been around long enough, especially in its modern incarnation, for at least 14 years, since like 2005. So now we're able to have different kinds of conversations, talk about different kinds of theories, open up the conversation to include things like social media and online video. And, I just think that it's time. It's time for this kind of discourse.
Well, I think that's an important point, because not only did we see an evolution in paranormal reality television, we've actually seen it come full circle to a degree. And I'm going to put an asterisk next to that statement, because we've heard about the reboot of Ghost Hunters.
Right.
We know that Jason Hawes is working on a new show with Steve and Dave Tango
Right.
called Ghost Nation. These guys have been off television for a while. And the paranormal community, and particularly the TV community, has evolved during that time. And now they're going to come back. And I'm anxious to see how their reintroduction to this genre in that way is going to either change, push it forward, or pull it back to where it was. I'm not sure how that's going to unfold, but it's certainly the next step.
Well, I mean, certainly the interest in the paranormal has not gone away, even though reality TV shows kind of dipped a bit in popularity on TV networks. But you know what happened is that instead, a lot of the interest in the paranormal moved online, moved to YouTube and into these platforms,
as everything has,
with an incredible diversity across cultures and and creeds and orientations and everything. It just became the untapped diversity was finally kind of tapped into on YouTube. And then the other component is a lot of the genre moved into scripted television and movies. We saw The Conjuring, we saw Paranormal Activity, we saw the Insidious movies, Sinister, we saw American Horror Story, like all these things, all the ghost stories that were unscripted were suddenly being reflected in scripted fare, and now it has come full circle again. But so yeah, that said, we want to hear from you guys out there.
Yeah, and we're kind of working the chat rooms here and trying to make sure everything works from a technical standpoint, and we will engage you a little bit better as we move forward. But speaking of creeds and cultures, why don't you introduce this guy that's sitting next to us here? Because he's getting bored, and it looks like he's getting mad.
On his phone, yeah. Well, first off, I mean, it's your channel. Everybody knows who you are, right?
Yeah, well, it's most.
Okay. If I may, I'll just say, for those of you guys that don't know me out there,
please do.
My background is I work as a journalist. My area of specialty is paranormal pop culture, kind of exploring the history of paranormal through entertainment, how one has influenced the other. And I've done a bunch of stuff on the Travel Channel, hosted Paranormal Paparazzi, which I still say was not the title that I chose, and have hosted on Paranormal Lockdown, been on Portals to Hell, and been on a bunch of other shows. But I'm basically just like the nerdy, tiki, paranormal guy.
And your shirt does not betray that.
No, it's a very subtle shirt. It's a Star Wars tiki shirt.
It's really kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, did you notice the Star Wars
I
elements
see
to it?
I see the Chewbacca. I see the Stormtrooper.
Yeah, there's like a Han. There's
no,
Greedo. There's
yeah.
everybody. There's a Cantina. Yeah.
Pretty cool. Can we get a close up on that, camera one?
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at that. We don't actually have a camera person there, do we?
No, we don't.
It's like-
That was wishful thinking.
They wait till I need to get up and move the
Yeah,
camera.
right.
All right.
It's part of the job.
We have made him wait long enough. I feel like it's torturous making him sit there. So let me say, the person we're about to bring on, our very first guest, our inaugural guest, is a friend and also a mischief maker, a cohort, a partner in crime, and also someone who has developed quite the name for themselves within the paranormal field. His name is Frank Sinelli, a.k.a. Dr. Spectre. Welcome to the Paranormal Happy Hour.
And he's speechless.
Hi, guys. It's great to be here, Aaron. I gotta ask you a stupid question. When you said friend, when you say, "Hey, he's a friend," you said he's a friend.
Well,
I don't know.
it-
To me, that sounded like a question.
He was a little unsure.
I don't
yeah.
mean to read into what you're saying because that's
It's-
not what I'm here for. But hey, hold on. Before you answer that, let me tell everybody who I am. All right. I'm Frank Sinelli. I'm a holistic healthcare practitioner, little town of Bangor, Pennsylvania, middle of nowhere, close to everything. I do a lot of different energy medicine, hooked in with vibrational and IV and herbs and all this cool stuff that everybody loves, but nobody really knows about. So I'm the guy who knows that shit.
Can you do it? Can you do it all right into the microphone?
Aren't I?
No.
This is not a good microphone?
Like it is a good microphone. That's why you got to be right up to it.
Oh, I got to get...
There you go. That's
Yeah,
the voice
just
I know and love.
eat the
So,
mic.
wait. I got to do...
Whoa.
Whoa.
That was really hot. Yeah.
You'll never
Yeah.
find
Yeah. Oh, we do the Lou Rawls later.
another like... No. All right.
But
No Barry White.
okay, but let me ask you this. So, like,
So,
okay,
wait, no,
okay,
wait,
go on,
I
go on,
wasn't
go on, go
done.
on. All right, go.
I lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, what I was gonna ask is more than just saying what you do within the paranormal. I think like,
I didn't even get to what I did in paranormal. I
all right, we'll
talked
go with
about
that.
what I was doing in my day job.
All right,
but-
well, go with that. Say that.
No. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, I was
You
going to
know.
say part of the thing that I wanted to do is peel back some layers here and like talk about sort of the origins of all of this stuff. And, look, this is the bar. We're at the bar. You're rolling up to the bar. You got a drink. So tell me, like little.
So we want to talk about like the paranormal travel bar.
No, not
No,
even that.
no,
Not even
okay.
that. I want to like. I'm legitimately curious. Like,
How I started drinking.
I we could talk about your first drink, but more importantly, talk to me about like the first time when you were a kid that you felt like, look, you were raised Catholic, I was raised Catholic. Talk about the first time as a kid that you're like something bigger is going on here, more than just like the
my
religious.
My first paranormal experience.
Well, even maybe
which
you didn't
actually
define it as
coincidentally,
paranormal, but
right, so this is like a paranormal and a booze and booze kind of thing.
yeah.
Actually, it kind of coincides.
Okay.
So I'm the youngest of five.
Right, as am I.
Right. My older sister at the time was like having this party, and at that time it was cool to do Ouija boards
Mm-hmm.
and seances and so on and so forth. Right. So I'm like 9 years old, and they're doing a seance. Right. In the downstairs bathroom in my parents' house.
Right, I know this bathroom.
You know the story, right? You've heard me tell the story, and Jim, I'll tell you the story because hell with Aaron.
No, it's a good story. I'm not discounting the
So
story.
we're there, we're doing this seance, and in the mirror, I see this face of the guy they're trying to contact. Right? It was a local doctor who.
Is there a punchline where it says it's you because you were looking in the mirror, or is that a
no,
different story?
No.
Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
I wish there was a punchline
Yeah, okay.
because then I'd be normal and not chasing ghosts right now.
Right, of course.
But no, I see this face, right? Local doctor who had just died. I never met him. I didn't know who the hell it was. I described him to the detail, right down. He had like these little wire frame glasses that he wore, right? Little round wire frames. I never knew, but that's the guy I saw,
Wow.
right? So since then, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, there's like something to this.
So when you're about what age were you?
I was 9.
You're 9.
Yeah.
So when that happened, who was the first person that you told? Was it your sister?
My sister, my brother-in-law was there. They weren't married at the time, so. I
And
guess it
what was
my
their
sister's
reaction?
friend.
Were they like, no, that's
No, because
you're
there was
like you
other
must have been
peop-
cheating.
There were other people who saw that, but I was the first to say it.
Right.
So they saw it too.
Yes, there
So
were
it was
others who saw it.
Group experience.
Yeah.
And so
You know, yeah, and there's boom, 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 boom. Maybe 8 to 10 people.
and now like years later, decades later, do they still support that story? Because sometimes
Actually,
like time goes
well,
by
you know
and
what?
people are like, you know what, I
I'll
don't
tell you
remember
what.
that way.
Shit, I keep kicking this camera. Am I still in? Do I
Kind
need to turn that?
It's kind of cut your head off a little
Yeah,
bit, but that's all right.
All right, we good?
Yeah.
Sorry, you know I got big feet, and you got the thing there.
We haven't even gotten to
I know.
Bigfoot.
It's a whole different.
You know, my foot is only 2 inches shorter than Bigfoot.
I didn't.
True story. But
Can
go on.
Bigfoot verify that?
I can verify that.
Okay.
Yeah. Where was I? Digress. Here we go. Okay, so was it last year or 2 years ago? Last year,
Yeah.
my nephew got married in Newport. And, you know, we shared this house, and there was way too many of us in this house. And my brother-in-law and I were talking, and he brought the story up. Okay? First of all, I did not remember he was even there. I knew my sister was there. I knew her friend Mary was there. I knew, yeah, pretty much my sister and Mary. I knew there were other people there. I just don't remember who they were. My brother-in-law brings the story up. And he tells the story almost verbatim how I tell the story. Which, you know, is weird in itself because he's an engineer and his story should have taken 30 times more words than mine.
Is that an image that is locked in your brain?
It's totally locked.
Like you could describe him still.
Still, absolutely. If I could draw good pictures, I could draw him.
So what about when it extended beyond like your sister's friendship group, this party that was probably not even supposed to be happening? How long did it take for your parents to hear that story or for other people in your life? Like, did you kind of keep it to yourself or did you want to share it with everyone right away?
No, I kept it to myself. I never said anything other than to the people who were there.
Your folks never knew?
No. They might have known. I don't know if they knew or not.
You've never told them?
No. No.
To this day, your pops, you've never told them that story?
No, never.
That's crazy to me.
Why?
No, I mean, I'm not crazy bad, but it's just interesting that you were never like, hey, by the way, this
You know
crazy
what?
stuff happened.
The old man's 93. What am I going to talk to him about paranormal stuff for?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Although, I got to say, the older he gets, the more open he is to energy type of everything.
You know, I kind of wonder, and I'm curious about your take. I kind of wonder if it's like as people get older, if it's so much that they
Close
get
to death kind of thing.
No, I don't even know if it's so much getting older, but like I've talked to a lot of people, like for instance, this is kind of tangential but related, like people that were connected to Roswell sightings. I've spoken to a lot of people that got a lot older and they were finally ready to start talking about things. I don't know how much of it is like an acceptance versus I don't give a shit anymore about the ramifications or or the social judgment or whatever.
Personally, I think it's an I don't give a shit kind of thing.
Yeah. Can we say shit?
We're on social media. We're on YouTube. I think shit is allowed.
Shit.
It's not
How about
governed by the
this?
FCC
Shit
like my
is
radio.
going down.
Can we
Okay.
say fuck?
We can, but then it
Then-
changes the rating.
Then we get an explicit rating.
Yes.
All right, so I won't say
Don't say that.
the 7 words you can't say
Say
on
frack.
TV. Remember George
Or fudge.
Carlin?
Oh, of course I do. Yeah,
Yeah, all right.
No, and somebody who owned radio stations and still broadcasts on terrestrial radio, I have to worry about those things. And I have a 7-second delay in my studio.
But you don't have
I
one
don't
here,
have one
do
here.
ya?
No, I don't.
Oh, Jim, why would you tell me that?
I know.
We had some people asking who are just joining us, what the heck is going on? So let's revisit what we're doing. Okay, so Aaron and I have been talking for, 18 years about the possibility of doing something like this?
I was talking about when I first met you, and it's been a solid 10 years, I think, that I've known you, and that's not even exaggeration.
No, it's not.
And we met at the Mount Washington. Wait, was it Mount
Or maybe
Washington?
it's
No, it was
the Otasaga.
Otasaga. It was the Otasaga, and then we met again at the Mount Washington. And I think the thing about us is that there's plenty of times where drinks are involved. It happens on occasion. But we're also talking about paranormal stuff, but also trading jokes and just being like wise asses with one another. And you have been party to this more than several times.
I don't know. I just met you guys.
And
I was hitchhiking.
but it's just like stories are told So ghost stories are they're like trading cards. They're part of our oral history. They're part of our storytelling history. And a lot of stories, a lot of communities gather around the pubs, the bars, and those are where tales are told.
Well, I think another part of that is because we've been doing this for so long, and we've been at events like this, and there's these formal settings, whether they're radio interviews or TV interviews, that all these people are involved with, and they tell in many cases, the same story, the same line, the same experience. They share it with the media audience and move on, and then we're all sitting around the bar talking, and then the stuff gets real.
Yeah.
That's where the real stories come out. And that's where the stories like Frank just told us, start to happen. And you and I have always said, if we could capture that is a side that nobody gets to see. That's a side that nobody gets to hear.
So here's a funny thing, and I have said this for years. I have learned more in a bar than I ever have in a classroom.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so I do alternative medicine, and I used to go to these classes and the seminars, and you get your formal education.
Yeah.
But then afterwards, you get a group of like-minded people, get a few drinks of them, and then all
That's
the
it.
stuff
Yeah.
That's it.
you wouldn't normally
That's
teach.
exactly
That's
it.
when the shit comes out.
That's right.
And I'll tell you what, some of the most valuable information I've ever got that I still use to this day in my practice, I've gotten in a bar.
I love those salty old characters too, especially that you run into
What
at
are you
bars.
looking at me when you
but,
say that?
like, you
Bastard.
can't tell. I got the sunglasses on.
No,
You don't
I
know
can
where.
see. I see your
You
sunglasses.
don't see my judgy eyes. Like the salty old characters that have like these great stories that come out at bars, and they also
of that,
are the
where's
ones
John?
that they have the history. They have the history. John went to bed. John Zaffis went to bed.
So anyway, to wrap this up, when somebody says, "What are you doing? Who are you?"
Yeah.
Aaron and I have been talking about this and understanding what gold exists in these conversations, and have wanted to try to bottle it in some fashion. And we've come upon this idea of kind of creating a virtual happy hour
Yeah.
where we can talk about these paranormal topics, whether it's ghosts, Bigfoot, UFO, conspiracies, whatever it happens
Urban
to be.
legends, other dark, and that's also why we are going to probably have some sort of beverage in front of us. And if you do partake, you should have one as well, or have something else that's just refreshing and enjoyable for you to share and gather around the fire, gather around that virtual fire, the warm embrace of the screen. As we
glow of
trade
the security light.
Yes. So yeah.
And as we get more sophisticated with this is our kind of test run, if you will, pilot. We'll have the ability to take your phone calls. We'll have the ability for you to tell us your stories, which will also be part of the discussion. So anyway, having said that, most of you know who I am because we're streaming this on a couple of my channels. I'm JV Johnson from Beyond Reality Radio. Aaron Sagers has been a multimedia personality for many, many years. Why don't you offer some of what you've done?
Yeah, basically I started out as a journalist and then quickly moved into TV, podcasting, video. You may have seen me on the Travel Channel, Sci-Fi Channel, Discovery, hosting Paranormal Paparazzi, Paranormal Challenge, Paranormal Lockdown, Evidence Revealed, on Chiller, across the board. Like I'm nerdy, I'm tiki, and I'm the paranormal pop culture guy. So I like to kind of track the influence of paranormal through entertainment and the evolution of paranormal through entertainment and folklore.
By the way, when I said wrap it up, I didn't mean wrap up the show. I meant wrap up the
intro part. The intro part.
again,
Yeah.
And Frank has been a longtime friend and participant in many of the things we've done.
So,
and is our first guest.
I'm like the Men in Black. Okay? You're sure you've seen me, but you really don't know where. And that's my lot in life.
And a little bit of penicillin. Yeah, you see, I get.
Do you guys-
actually that would be actually better here. Next time, we'll remember that.
Do you guys remember the first time you guys met?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in Gettysburg.
Yeah.
I think you
Oh,
had
phenomenology.
First time we
phenomenology,
met,
yeah.
right? And it's like we became instant friends because we're both assholes.
Yeah,
Can I say that?
sure.
You can say
assholes
asshole.
is
But I
okay,
think
yeah.
you say ass. You can't say asshole, right?
We're not on an FCC regulated
Okay.
forum. We can say any of those things.
So yeah, we have a very similar personality. We did our thing and we became friends.
yeah,
You remember the second time we met?
help me. Am I going to be embarrassed?
All right.
If I tell the whole
if
story,
there's,
you would
yeah,
be.
if there's personal, yeah,
don't do
yeah.
that.
Give us the radio appropriate or
The radio
or YouTube
version,
appropriate.
it was bitter cold, and we were at Rolling Hills Asylum.
Oh, was that the second time?
in
I remember that.
January?
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
God.
Yes.
That's
think-
right.
I think there's a
Yes.
collective oh
Yes,
God
you
about
still
that.
owe me. Jim.
Yeah.
You still owe me.
I do owe you for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Good times.
Yeah, good
Good,
times.
terrible
Good
times.
times.
So I want to ask Frank,
Yeah,
where
but
did
it's a
Dr.
good segue.
Yeah, where did Dr. Spector?
All right.
Oh, I can
So-
answer that.
All right, go ahead.
No, I want to. Well,
No,
can
you
if
can
want
answer
to,
it.
So
We're going to
Dr.
disagree.
but- Oh,
So we started an investigative group. Okay. So one of the guys in our group was this straight-laced kind of, well, I do media and I don't want to be known with paranormal, so I'm just going to be AJ Spector. The group's name was Spector. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, no, that's a good idea. You know what? I don't want to be known. I have a medical practice, so I'm just going to be known as Dr. Spector. And what?
no, you keep talking. This is the off camera, even though I'm on
Yeah.
camera,
right.
signaling somebody to come help me for a second.
All right. So
do you
that's
need-
why
do
I
you-
went
do you need a
with
refill?
Dr. Spector.
No, I need that camera to be adjusted because his head's being cut off.
Oh yeah.
Can you just?
up in my
We've
head.
completely broken through the veil of whatever.
Yeah,
The
the
mystery
fourth wall.
of
Yeah,
the.
can you just push that handle down a little bit so the camera goes up a little bit? So
There you go. Oh, keep going.
you might
down.
have to undo that nut
Yeah,
on
now-
the side.
So.
Oh, she can do the nut.
No, never mind. Don't undo
Oh.
that.
Don't touch.
I'll do it. Go ahead. I'm gonna
All right. He's
Jim's
going off
going to
camera.
touch the nut. Leave it alone. Woman.
No, continue with the story though.
All right. So, well, no, that's basically the story.
So
you know the story. Jim didn't. So without
Yeah.
Jim behind the microphone reacting to it, it's kind of pointless for me to talk about this now, isn't it, Aaron?
no. Well, here's a paranormal happy hour exclusive. It's the first time I've ever talked about this actually, publicly, on the record. So, yes. So we started an investigative group, and at the time, I was still very much working in newspapers as a reporter and then newspaper editor, and I've been fascinated with paranormal since I was a kid. And we had a shared interest, and so we started this group. But we both kind of wanted to publicly through the website kind of keep it a little low key. So I went by sort of my nom de guerre, and you became Dr. Spector. But the thing is so in those old days, so every paranormal group had some sort of acronym.
Right.
And we did too. Spectre had an acronym in those early days, and we're
And it was a
dating
stretch.
ourselves. Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you remember what it means?
I have it written down somewhere because I get asked
You don't
that
remember?
question a
You
lot.
It was
It's like,
the
it's
society.
such a stretch.
It is. We
Because
started with
he came up with
We
it.
started with the name because you start, and look, a lot of people do this. We just did it more than a decade ago. So Spectre came up with the cool name first, of course.
So you
Very
had the
cool
acronym.
name.
You started with the acronym.
No, we started with the acronym.
Started the acronym, then had to fill in the blanks.
It's pushing 2 decades.
Why are you?
It's going back. Yeah, you're going low. So wait, okay. It was Society of Paranormal Exploration, Examination, Experimentation.
Did you
The
talk
l-
to the mic?
I am.
Yeah,
Did you hit the cord or something? Did something disappear? Or did you hit the switch?
No.
Something. Now talk.
Hello.
There you are.
Oh, you're back. Yeah.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Of paranormal
2, 3, 4,
exploration.
8.
Paranormal. I don't know.
So
There was an E and a C and a T and an R and E after
Right.
that.
Okay,
It
so
was,
this story is boring. Janice asked, why did you start the investigative group, and did you have personal experiences before? I think we know the answer for Frank because he told us about the mirror. So
Yeah.
why did you start the group? And Aaron, did you have personal experience before that?
Yeah, so we started the group to really help people because we both did have experiences, and we were both kind of approaching it. So Frank was approaching it more from a alternative medicine perspective, and I was approaching it as a reporter and investigative journalist. Each bringing different skill sets to the group. Yeah, I mean, as a kid, honestly. There was stuff. I was very young. There was stuff that happened to me when I was a kid in the first house I lived in, and then as I got older, like we moved, and there was stuff that happened in the other houses, and there's stuff. It's still like a riddle to me, but I was always interested in it, and then it just kind of piqued my interest to kind of push forward through research and try to understand more. But also, frankly, saw a lot of people that needed help. Saw a lot of people that were freaked out, you know. So
what did people do? I mean, we all kind of agree that somewhere around 2004, 2005, when ghost hunters hit the air, there was an explosion in paranormal groups. It became accepted to do this.
Yeah.
And people realized, wait a minute, I don't have to sit here and pretend I don't believe in ghosts anymore. I can actually go do something. And all these groups were formed, and these groups went out and started to help people who were having paranormal problems or sightings or whatever happened to be in their homes. What did those people do before that?
Well, I mean, there had been time. Everything is cyclical, though. Like there had been times where there were psychical societies before then, some that are still going on, that were dedicated to that. But I mean, look the medium that we're talking on right now. This was such a key part of that explosion.
That's true.
So we had TV, but consider like Ghost Hunters happened right at the same time that MySpace and then the Facebook came onto the scene, which then broke down those barriers between towns. So people didn't have to just like be viewed as the crackpot in Bangor, Pennsylvania. They could be, reach beyond those city limits and meet other people who had those interests and concerns.
And that's a great point. The digital age did add a little fuel to this fire. There's no question about it. But as you guys went out and started to help people, did you find that the people that needed that help because they were afraid of what was happening, or they just wanted explanation for what was happening?
Initially, because they were afraid. As this whole media thing expanded, and then you get a lot of people who saw this on TV and like, well, I think there's a demon in here because I saw it on TV and it acted like that. Or
people wanted attention as well.
Or the fact that they wanted to be on TV, and they thought if they created a good enough story that it might get them there.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, all right, that's some of the investigative background. I'm curious about, I mean, just from the bar perspective again, what's been like, I don't even want to say the weirdest experience that you've had, but like one of those experiences
Remember that
where
time
you're
with the
just like,
twins?
this is just like sort of messed up or funny or like one of those, what's you're never going to believe this. There was this one time. I mean, because you're a believer. You're approaching this as a believer. What's this one time?
So I have a couple of times, actually. Apparently, dead hookers like me.
Well, I mean,
I know.
can you blame them?
No, I cannot. So we're doing an investigation at the Kitty Knight House.
Yeah.
Okay, in Maryland. Kitty Knight is responsible for stopping the British Navy from burning down the whole town.
Right.
She met for several hours with the admiral, and after meeting for several hours, in that deep discussion, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean?
Know what you mean. Say no more.
Right.
Say no.
Admiral pulled the troops and didn't burn down the rest of the town. So afterwards, Kitty has
No, it's okay. Wait, hold on. Could we get a drink refill over here? This is Paranormal Happy Hour. We can ask for another drink.
Can we? Is that okay?
you
Yeah.
got a shot right.
Is
in
that
front of you.
fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. How are you, Frank? How are you on your drink?
I'm good because
You're good? I'm not. I'm
I've
empty.
become
I
prepared.
mean, where would we be without spirits?
That's true. There would be no puns. whatsoever.
I come
Look,
prepared.
I like my puns. Do not take those away from
So-
me.
What do you call? It's not a pun, but when we use the word booze, B-O-O-S, and booze, B-O-O-Z-E.
Well, that's wordplay.
it's just
Or maybe
wordplay. There's not a
cameo.
special,
yes,
not
you
a
should.
special thing for that.
If
Or
you're being the drink bitch.
I
you
mean,
should.
there
I mean,
might
that's
be.
Not a not a.
Damn it,
double
Jim! I'm a
entendre.
ghost hunter, not a grammarian.
All right, so sorry, Frank, to interrupt the story, but
Wait, I had a story.
Oh yeah. But so Melissa is asking us in the Facebook chat.
Hi, Melissa.
Do any of you all have abilities? I don't know if she means ghost-related abilities or just in general.
I
got
can
lots of
make a
abilities.
mean Mai Tai.
Right.
That's a good ability. Yeah.
What?
She's pointing at the cup.
Oh, pointing at the cup. Everybody give it up to, you can't see her, but,
Oh, I did. I
oh, well,
Come
there's,
back around and get
there's,
the cup.
there's
She rolled through.
Isabella. You can come in the frame. It's okay.
Yeah, this is very casual.
Isabella has abilities.
It's our paranormal happy hour
I-
bartender and maven and where'd she go? Wait,
she's
somehow
there.
you didn't
She's
manage
there.
to get in
No,
the.
she's
Oh,
there.
there
It's
you
just,
go.
it was blocked by
Okay.
the other screen.
Now,
She's
now
hiding
you're
behind her.
hiding behind. There you are.
There she is.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo. There's another wordplay that we can
Yeah,
use.
right.
Peekaboo.
Just don't mix those cups up. God knows
Just
what
wrong.
Sagers has.
It's,
Yeah.
Oh, the alcohol
as his,
kills it.
As his physician, I know what he has. Don't
you
mix the
you
cups
advised
up.
me to drink heavily. It's so what is your paranormal unpopular opinion? Like, because everybody comes to the table, and this is actually it kind of bugs me. People come to the paranormal table with rules.
Let me ask this so that everybody gets a perspective. Would you, of the three of us,
Yeah.
raise your hand if you consider yourself a skeptic?
I do consider myself a skeptic.
Not at all.
Skeptical believer.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
what I say, and this is how I explain it, is like I think over on one side of that spectrum is
Where's yours?
I'm listening.
like cynical, is cynicism, cynicism, and the other side is dogmatic believer. And in the middle, I think there's a lot of gray space that allows for skepticism. Skepticism's not a bad thing.
No,
we
it's
should,
not. It's
we
healthy.
should be skeptical.
It's healthy.
We should be skeptical about the paranormal.
Okay, so my take on this is there are skeptics, and I know many skeptics, and I love them because they keep you on your toes. Okay? But there's skeptics who are, you can have perfect video of a full body apparition coming up and saying, hello, I'm a freaking ghost. And they're going to say, no, that's wrong.
Well, but
Okay.
so if I'm going to be that, let me play devil's advocate and be that
You
person.
be the devil, Aaron.
Well, let me be that
The devil.
person.
Go on.
And say like, all right, well, I didn't watch you film this. I don't know what you've done to this video. Tell me,
Okay.
like working through the process.
Yeah.
I don't.
So
that
if you're a good enough skeptic, you'll be able to analyze the video and see if it's been altered.
There's a
I don't
different. There's a
think s-
difference between a skeptic and just a denier.
a cynic. A
A
cynic.
cynic, yeah, okay.
Yes, fair.
Those are different people. And then there's people. Then there are people. I don't know what we call. I won't call them believers because it's beyond that. They just everything is
my God.
haunted.
It's
everything
religious.
is a
It's
ghost.
dogmatic belief.
Yeah.
No.
So that's the spectrum. But we have a follow-up question to your story, Frank. Janice wants to know if you felt. Did you feel your connection with this hooker, Kitty, actually reaching out to you, or the story itself? I'm not sure I understand the question.
So let me finish that story.
Yeah.
Because Aaron rudely interrupted me.
We're at a bar, man. This happens.
I know.
It does. Wait till the jukebox
Constantly.
kicks on,
Boom,
and then we have to go
boom, boom.
dance.
All right. No. All right. So we're doing this thing, right? And we're videoing and we're doing our stuff. So one of the stories is if you lay in Kitty's bed, if she likes you, she'll pull the covers up. Okay. So I'm laying in Kitty's bed. We got the video going. We got all kinds of stuff going. And it literally felt like somebody got on the bed with me. Dude, it's tequila. That's freaking good tequila.
Okay.
It's not even the rock gut.
Okay. You don't have to stop your story for my
No,
facial
no.
expressions.
All right. So, were you on camera when you did that? Yeah. Then I had to stop.
Okay, good for
What
you.
kind of tequila is it?
Espelon.
Oh, Espelon.
Es-
That's
Espelon?
We should do this.
So, listen, Espelon, if you're listening, Espelon is always in my travel bar. Wow.
Well, he's going for the sponsorship right away.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
not even subtle.
I'm looking at that face. I'll never get a sponsorship with the face Jim's making.
Are you not a tequila guy?
seriously.
Not a tequila guy. It's
Wow.
See, I like good tequila.
oh no, I don't. I don't like any tequila, but I did that tequila for my buddy Frank.
Yeah, well, that was kind of you.
Dude, I would have done it for you.
Would
'Cause
you?
I like tequila.
I like tequila.
Anyway. So getting back to my story.
Oh yeah, you have a story?
So no, Janice wanted to know.
Yeah, I didn't understand Janice's question, but go ahead.
No, I did.
Do you feel your connection with this hooker,
Janice, I get you.
kitty person, is actually reaching out to you or the story itself?
So here's the thing. Okay. So we're doing the thing, we're filming, I'm laying in the bed, and I feel somebody get on the bed and literally get on me.
Is this G-rated?
I'll make it G-rated.
Or you can go PG.
And it started to move.
PG-13.
It started to move, and in EVPs, we caught moaning. Okay? At the same time. So prior to that, we'll go back to our very first Spectre investigation. Okay?
Right.
Way back when, we were investigating an alleged speakeasy.
Hey, is anybody in the crowd watching this on social media at all? Or are you guys just amongst yourselves over there? Just out of curiosity. I don't have a phone.
I don't know.
Zach,
Go
check out the
Oh, Jesus.
Paranormal Happy Hour Facebook page.
Actually, it's not on the.
Or-
It's
oh,
on. It's on the Taps Paramag.
on the Taps
Media.
Taps Media.
Taps Media.
And
Yeah.
give us a shout when people give us a Facebook question.
Yeah.
So you felt like you knew this
All right.
character.
So no. At Kitty Night House, I did not feel like I knew that. But prior to that, okay, at our very first investigation as Team Spectre, Aaron,
Yeah.
okay, remember that?
Well, clue me in.
By the way, we had a comment when I said make it PG-13. We had a comment that said, "Show us your tits, ghosty girl."
Right.
Oh, yeah.
She did.
She did. You just can't see her. That's,
Yeah. Right.
she's naked right now.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, hey, look.
Look, it's Bob Christopher. Come here, Bob.
I hit that cord
Oh, yeah.
again. I don't know what's going on with the cord. I got to
Talk
replace
about
it.
Kitty Night House. Remember
Get a
that?
different one.
Where's the camera?
It's back on.
It's
right
right
there.
on your ear.
Whoa! Hey,
Yeah, that
yo,
didn't even look
And
right.
that was on camera.
Bob, bro, I love you, but
Okay, so
come behind me. Come
okay,
here.
yeah.
Come here.
Get,
Come here.
All right, wait.
No, hurry up. Come here, quick.
We're losing control here.
Yeah, this is what happens at the Paranormal Happy Hour is people just start
Next to
going
me,
off
there's
on a
the camera, here's the
tangent
microphone.
and they never
Kitty Night
come
House.
back.
Remember, I was on the bed.
They
happened?
they never
Yeah,
and
you
and
got
he's
raped.
gonna
Okay.
well, I mean, were you consenting?
So, Bob, go ahead. Tell the story. Tell Bob. You tell
I
your
didn't
version
have
of the
my
story.
Genitals touched.
Can you say genitals on the radio? Yeah,
I
you
think you
can.
could say I think they
Can you
just
see? Listen. Can you
Naughty
see
bitch.
him?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Can you see Bob on the camera?
No.
I can see his from his chest down,
Bob,
which is I
lower.
don't know. Now I
There's the
can.
mic. Yeah, I know you do, but tell the story because it's pertinent.
I don't
right
know
now.
the story.
Dude, you were there.
Okay.
So, so as far as the
Let's let them work it
did
out.
get
as far as
but
the
I got
bar
touched.
conceit goes,
Yeah.
I think we're nailing it. I mean, this is definitely what happens at a bar. One guy starts telling a story,
Right.
trails off, and
Some-
another
the
guy
other guy walks
comes
in,
into another
"Bob,
story.
welcome to the
Tell the
night.
story.
Come on, Bob,
Bob,
tell
you know
Bob,
the
this was
story.
the best night ever. Tell that story. Yeah, right.
This is what happens.
And guys, I'll tell you what. When we were done with that session, the first thing I did, I went out in the parking lot and I pick up the phone. I'm like texting my girlfriend. I'm like, "Is ghost sex cheating?"
So
Is
how-
ghost sex
Well,
cheating?
according to my girlfriend, yes.
Well, you know what? According
did
to many,
you-
it
She said
is.
yes.
Did you see the story about the woman that married the ghost
Yeah,
pirate?
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
And
of
then they
course,
got
yes, of
divorced.
course, it was. Yeah. Well, they did get divorced, and she said that he was the ghost. She called him Jack, and I think she was basically
That's
just
Johnny
describing,
Depp.
Jack Sparrow. But she did say that she engaged in spectrophilia.
Yeah, no, yeah, of course,
With this ghostly husband. So do you? Okay, so wait, do you think it's cheating, Frank?
Let's ask the audience
Frank
here.
says
Let's
it
ask our
doesn't
chat
cheat.
rooms
Ask
too.
ask the chat room.
Is
because I
ghost-
say no.
Okay. Is ghost sex cheating? Go.
And what do you think?
We're
We're going on record here, JV. Is it cheating? Ghost sex. He's pleading the fifth. Wow,
Did you inhale?
That is a man that, like, you know.
Did you inhale?
He's pleading the. I think here's my take.
All right,
on
here.
it.
All right.
Is it okay? Okay,
So-
you got to break it down to a couple different levels. Here.
Can I answer first?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, not that
I
you
thought
cut me
you-
off.
I
No.
thought-
You
I
were
thought you
trying
weren't-
to,
I was-
to bail me out.
I know, I
knew
was,
you,
yeah.
I actually don't think it is, only because there is no physical contact. I mean, there's maybe ethereal contact, but there's no physical contact. And let me ask this. Let me take this from PG-13 to what's next? R? Does it really jump to R?
Yeah, that goes right to R. Yeah.
Okay. Is it any different than masturbation?
Wait, is that R?
What?
Masturbation?
How does it even relate to masturbation?
Is
I don't know.
ghost sex
I don't know. For me,
any
that was
di-
very PG.
Is that any different than masturbation?
But how does
yes,
it relate
yes, it
to
does. Yes, it is.
masturbation?
Yeah, like so.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're
If you're
really gonna
masturbating, it's self-love.
right,
Okay, get right on the mic when you talk about it.
another party is
So,
not.
Yeah. Again, you're masturbating is self-love. If it's ghost sex, it's this invisible
okay, l-
energy
Let me play the
getting you off.
let me play the denier for a second.
You play whatever you want to play with.
Let me say that maybe the denier would say there's no other being or energy there. That's you
Right.
in your mind doing the same thing to yourself
Is-
as
is-
you would with
Is that
masturbation.
before or after the denier flushes the tissue?
You know, I mean, honestly, like to be
I'm
entirely.
just throwing it out there.
To be-
I'm just asking.
No, I mean, like to be entirely serious about it for just a second. This is my response to it. If you are willing and you're wanting it to happen and you're inviting it, and it is essentially you're providing consent, then I think that it serves as essentially cheating. But however, there are a lot of stories out there of unwanted.
Okay, so what you're saying, if
unwanted
there's an
touching-
emotional connection, in other words,
If you're
you
in your
see-
mind,
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, on an investigation, if you're like, you can push me, you can interact with me, I am essentially giving you the permission to touch me. If you are doing that in a sexual way of like, okay, you can touch me, you're providing consent with whatever may be potentially out there, then
All right.
it is
I will tell
it's
you this.
consensual. But that is different. That is different than a lot of the reports out there
I will-
of like unwanted
okay.
touching,
I
which
keep-
is not
I-
cheating.
I keep thinking about this from a male perspective. I will tell you this: if my woman was lying in a bed and a male ghost was having his way with her, I would consider that cheating.
All right. Fair
Well,
enough.
Absolutely.
I mean, but you also have to keep in mind, like,
Absolutely.
there's so many stories of
And I would flip.
the incubus or people that report
Look.
being touched without their consent violated, and that's not
Well,
only not cheating,
Janice-
that is violation.
Janice in our chat room said cheating or invaded, which
Yeah.
is kind of hitting on the point
No,
you just
exactly. And here's the fine line.
Yeah, I would agree with
if
that,
you,
Janice.
If you say incubus or succubus,
or even there's stories of people that have been touched, like
okay, no. But if you say incubus and succubus, that's demonic, and that's another issue altogether.
I say
However-
rules of consent still apply. If you're saying
No,
yes,
I'm-
you're allowed.
I'm not disagreeing. Not disagreeing with
Our
you at all.
YouTube audience is like, who the hell is Janice? Because they can't see Janice in the Facebook chat. It's kind of funny.
Well,
Anyway.
Janice is in the chat room, but we also have a group of people around us. So
Yeah.
So you know, if we call out someone
Does
random,
anybody else hear crickets?
No,
no, that I think
No.
that's our audience.
right. That's clearly a sign
That's
of
our
the
audience
end of
right
times,
now.
Joe.
Right there. You don't hear that? Do you hear that?
No.
No, I do.
There's
hear
a
that.
cricket somewhere.
I hear that as well.
Legitimately a cricket.
I'm glad we're entertaining so many people out there that we are literally getting crickets. As far as a proof of concept, guys, we're nailing it. Yeah, this is baller right
So
here. Yeah.
someone asked in our chat room, why JV? Why are you so sweaty? And I think they must miss the part where I said it was 100 degrees here.
Right.
Right.
Because it literally
Except,
is.
however, Aaron and I are both not sweaty.
I'm an
No,
Italian
I'm
sweater.
I'm sweaty.
I'm an Italian sweater.
Yeah. I'm
Break
just.
a sweat,
This is
tie
why
my
I'm
shoes,
wearing a
wearing
T-shirt
fucking
under my shirt.
Flip flops.
Okay, can I just like flip the
Sure,
topic
yeah,
a
do
little
it,
bit
do
and
it.
move in another direction?
Go.
Have you ever been in a situation where you kind of like expect to look for one thing and then something else weird kind of pops up, or you're just like, oh, it was kind of like bizarre. And I'm gonna throw to JV first to respond, and then go to you. I do not have the lighter. You can ask for the lighter. We're very informal here. This is Paranormal Happy Hour. We're at the Paranormal Bar.
It's very simple. Very simple. The drinks will
Could
flow.
can our off-camera person that is helping us bring us a lighter? And he is on the way with a lighter.
I do hear. Oh, so people in chat hear the crickets too.
Right, they're also entertained.
I mean, that's
by
really
our shenanigans.
kind of like the worst insult you can get when you do a pilot of a show
And you get literal
and you
crickets.
actually have crickets.
They're not even native to this part of Pennsylvania. They flew in for this just to heckle us.
Can I just mention, you and I were sitting here, 3 hours ago, just kind of planning the evening,
really-
and every exotic
had that
insect from the
moment during-
four
God.
corners of the earth landed on the two of us.
So many crazy creatures were flying up here. And look, I come from Florida. I was raised in Florida.
Crazy creatures.
I know crazy creatures. It's
Yeah.
a state where nothing dies; it just gets bigger and mutates. It's there was like some weird speckled flying
spiders, speckled, tram carrying, baby riding. I don't know what it was.
and
but
that's
it was-
actually the scientific name for it too.
it was huge. And then something else followed up, and then there's a third one. That,
Right? Something bit Frank.
Well, that was.
When?
Who was it?
You had a bug land on you that bit you earlier.
Really? Seriously? Or is that the
was
one
it?
that you
Tonight?
smooshed?
There was the one that smushed you. I thought something landed on your neck and bit you.
It did, yes.
Yeah.
Will you- okay,
last
so
week,
we have a
too.
question here
So-
from Melissa. Melissa, will you all
Melissa.
be in Gettysburg next week? And what's in Gettysburg next
The
week?
Gettysburg Bash.
Yeah.
No,
Battlefield Bash. No.
unfortunately, Melissa, I will not
was
be.
trying to be there, but I could not
If
make it.
if I
I don't know
may
anything about it.
plug, next week I will be at Pittsburgh Wizard World Comic Con, and I will be having a paranormal panel there. So if anyone's out there listening that's near Pittsburgh, come down to the Wizard World Comic Con and let us know that you were listening to the happy hour stream.
And I will also say this for everybody who might have an interest in following this more thoroughly. We do have a Facebook page. It is the Paranormal Happy Hour. The reason we're streaming to the TAPS Media page is just because nobody knows about the other one yet. So go to the Paranormal Happy Hour Facebook page, like it,
So can I?
get right
Give
up
us a
there and
like.
say it, whatever you're doing.
I'm going to interject here.
Yeah.
Okay. So this pretty lady behind me
Uh-huh.
is Gina.
Hi, Gina.
Hi.
Okay.
How are you, Gina?
I am very good. thank
Are you
you.
sweating as much as the rest of us?
Yes.
No. Pretty ladies don't sweat. No, I'm going to need that in a minute.
Yeah,
Gotta
I was
do
pretty
it.
covered
All
with sweat. I was working my butt off at
I bet you
Pennhurst
were,
today,
yeah,
setting all
for
the
sure.
tents
Yeah.
up,
So-
all the
so-
tables up. And then tonight, dancing at the VIP party. I
Nice.
So-
was sweating
dancing?
there. I was
So Gina,
dancing.
let's ask you. So we have
We need
the
Gina though, when she
Pennhurst.
talks to get right up there.
Yeah, Pennhurst Paracon. So lean in there, Gina.
Come in.
I'm leaning. I'm leaning.
What,
Sit on that, baby.
What you
This is
know?
my brother.
you guys you keep coming back to Pennhurst. You've been hosting the Paracon. What is it about this location? Let everybody out there know. What is it about this location that keeps drawing you back, makes you want to have an event here and have all these speakers here? What is it about Pennhurst?
Well, the historic value of Pennhurst alone is worth, getting your ticket. Because what we're doing, we're not making anything doing this either. We're doing all this work.
Nobody ever
putting on
does. I
this
know. No, I know your
Paracon,
pain. I know your
and-
pain. I know
Yes.
your pain.
And it's to benefit and to go into the upkeep of the grounds,
Yeah.
the
Right.
buildings, and everything. And you can see the difference.
When was the first time you came to Pennhurst?
I hope people can hear this
I would
because
say three,
just be careful. That cord is a little messed
three,
up.
yeah, 4 years ago. My first time at Pennhurst.
Wait, hold on a second. We're going dead.
We had a
little
cord
bit.
issue.
Here, set it down, and then Gina, why don't you lean in? Because this.
Pull up a chair. Can you grab a chair? Go grab a chair.
grab a chair.
Grab a
I'll
chair.
grab a
Yeah,
chair.
yeah, yeah.
grab
We'll
a
start
chair,
this with a chair. Anyway, so Listen, okay, so this Gettysburg thing. All right, somebody's got to tell me what this Gettysburg. I was just in Gettysburg.
It's a Gettysburg Bash. Yeah.
What is it though, Bash?
It's
Oh, no,
a
we can
paranormal.
talk-
event.
Wait,
But,
hold
okay.
on. Before we get to the
We're
back.
not
Now,
done with you.
back
We're
in
not done with you. Hold on. We're
get back. We're just-
This is what you call chatter. Like this is with banter back and forth.
This is covering the fact that you're doing something else.
They're doing
We're
B-roll.
bantering the way we want to banter.
Yeah, we're
They're
good there.
B-rolling.
So okay, Gina, when was the
Cheers.
first time that you went to Pennhurst?
And get as close to that mic as you can.
It had to have been, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. I went to a Paracon that they had. I mean, I've investigated there, done investigations, but...
Wait, let me push your head
But I gotta, don't you. Don't you. No. No. Yes, but I fell in love with it the second I saw it. It was like something about the draw of the buildings, and and you have that overgrown look. That was the other administration that was
Yeah.
there at that time, and it was all overgrown and everything, and that has its own mystique to it about it anyway. When you go in there and you like
Yeah.
the look, but the buildings themselves, the spirits that are there, the history that's there is just, you can feel it as soon as you get on the ground.
Well,
You can feel it.
I have to say, like, Pennhurst, like, even if you entirely do not buy into the paranormal, and that's okay, like, because I love talking to people that are not into it as well, but like, if you show up at Pennhurst and you walk around and you look at these buildings, it is like a city. Not like, it is a city.
Yeah, and some of the buildings are gone.
And it is, some of these buildings are overgrown with nature after being left to essentially rot after 1987 when it closed down. And people just walked away, right? Just left stuff
Yes.
behind, right?
Yeah, all the stuff, yes, stuff in the building.
What's the craziest thing you've seen in some of the buildings?
Oh my gosh. Oh, the books.
Books?
Oh my
What-
God.
what kind of books?
There's a floor, I believe it was in Devon, on the
That's
second
that's
or-
one of the buildings, one of the
One
halls.
of the- yes. And there's just so many books in there, all kinds of books, from school books, history books, all kinds of books. Old.
For me, it was medical records.
Yeah.
Oh, and the medical records and the
Yeah.
dental thing. They had X-rays, dental X-rays, and
Because, A, that's against the law.
Get on the mic.
A, that's against the law. Okay.
it is.
B, freaking X-rays. There's a silver content to that, and you can recycle those and get money. But that's just my 2 cents.
So wait, so you're walking around here. What was the first time? What was the moment? Briefly, what was the moment where you're like, okay, everybody's been talking about this place being haunted, but now, yeah, I'm a true believer. I'm a customer of this place. What was the moment that you walked around and you're like, oh yeah, shit's real?
Well, I'm
Here.
like, I would say I'm the queen of the flare, right? I get thermal image pictures like nobody else, I swear. And I got a great thermal image there of an apparition standing in a doorway. And every time, okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm blowing smoke on you. Oh, okay.
The cord's messed.
Oh.
Pushing on your head and you were choking. I'm sorry, Gina. Go on. Keep going.
I'm trying desperately here. No,
Still.
so I get my
Still.
flare images,
There it is.
and that always intrigues me, because I like to see things right away. But it's just the EVPs that you get in there, and the
Yeah.
feeling that you get in there.
What is it? What is it about these old, closed down generally, abandoned asylum buildings? They just sit and they rot, but they're so full of not only history, but this paranormal energy.
I think
It
it's
is an energy.
I think
you
it's
can
like-
feel it, and you can feel different energies through different buildings. You go by Quaker, and you get that low, that deep, foreboding type feeling.
Yeah.
That whoa,
Yeah.
and you get sunken
Yeah.
down, and that you feel right away. And that was, I didn't know what that building was when I first went there. And I said, wow, why is that so negative right there? And then they told me that's where they housed
Right.
all the.
So then you
know,
learn the history, and it all
yeah,
makes
and
sense.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh wow, and then it captures you, and you just want to go in there, and you want to learn more. You want to learn more about the building. You want to learn more about the spirits that are there. I
Yeah.
had an interaction with a little girl. Her name was Juniper, and she was like dancing in the house, and she was just you could hear her going la 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 la, in the tunnels, and she's dancing, and it's like, wow, it was really really neat, And I had like a conversation with this girl, and it's just you never
Why is
know.
it that all of a sudden the crickets are gone? Is this because this is actually
Gina is
interesting?
talking-
They're like, wait. She's saying something good. I mean, I do think the thing with a lot of these buildings that are left to be overgrown, left to rot, and everything, like kind of according to theory, it's just like this, almost like a paranormal stew, like a paranormal gumbo. It's like it just like it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and it's left to kind of overlap on itself without anything being disturbed. And then suddenly people come along and they kind of puncture that a little bit, and it, it's like ready and willing to respond.
express, yeah.
Well,
I mean,
they know when they were interacting last year at Paracon. The spirits were all interacting with all the noise, with all the people, all the mini ghost hunts. Every single one was getting a lot of EVPs, touching, moving things, all our equipment going off, with all the noise right outside the door, and you're still getting all this. And I got a full body on the flare.
Yeah,
in
that's
the
incredible.
Philadelphia tunnel.
Yeah.
Standing right next to people. I'm like, do you really want to know what's next to you?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, and I show them, and they're like,
Yeah, right.
And then they freak out and they get a little nervous, but I'm like, no, it's okay, There was, like only one time that there was anything really negative, and actually I went in and I yelled at it, and then my people came in and said, God, don't do that again, because it was like dead the next 2 mini ghost hunts. They wouldn't even talk. I'm like, you are not allowed to do this, and you are not allowed to do, don't touch my people like that. Don't scare my people. If you want to communicate, that's one thing. I was like livid.
yeah.
you know.
Well, isn't it? It's also funny. Like, just 15 years ago in the U.S., I think people, when they had like that haunted location, haunted inn, haunted restaurant, haunted bar, they didn't want to talk about it. Now everybody wants to talk about it, and they want to kind of boast their ghost. And that has been a shift. So, is there like any favorite bars out there that you guys have that has this haunted history that for a long time they just didn't want to talk about their ghost, but now they're boasting the ghost?
Yeah,
What-
actually, Dark Horse. And if I want to say it the way I normally would say it in my accent, is Dark Horse.
Dark horse.
The Dark Horse.
Where is this?
That's in Sturbridge, Mass.
Okay.
Garbage.
Sturbridge. Sturbridge.
What?
Mass.
No, what? It's
Oh,
getting.
yeah. The crowd is here.
Oh, the crowd is thickening. Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we have Dave and Steve. We have
Yeah,
Steve and
guys, what the heck? Come
Zoe.
over here.
Dave, Tango.
Come
All
on
right.
over. Holy
All right.
crap. Hold on, I gotta say that.
All right, we're
step
gonna make
out
some
and
space for
I
these
will-
guys.
No, you were doing good. Hold on.
That's okay, but I will
You
step
stay here.
out.
Gina, trust me. Do what I tell you. Because you trust me.
I trust you.
Yes.
So we have like a crowd gathering around us, and it's getting a little bit active out here tonight. Not paranormal active,
So now
just
we
like
have the
people
crickets
gathering.
again.
It's this is what happens. This is a great thing about the paranormal event. So we just got like a brief cameo
Yeah,
of
so-
Dave Tango and Steve Gonzalez from
So, wait.
Ghost Nation coming up.
Should we
And,
get them in?
We will.
We will
At some point.
We will
Tomorrow.
at some point. Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
tonight.
you'll be doing a lot of live broadcasts.
Because,
during the
Gina and I
day,
want to know
right?
if we need to move.
At
Yes,
some point.
I will-
At
I
some
will
point.
let
I didn't
them-
want.
yeah,
I mean, we're
because-
talking stuff here. I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait,
So,
Dakos.
Dark Horse. Yeah, the Dark
Dark
Horse and
Horse.
Dak-
Sturbridge.
Wait, am I saying it right? Dakos.
Dark Horse.
Dark
yes,
Horse.
That's it.
So tell me about Dakos.
All right. Well, I was actually hanging out with a guy that was working in the music industry there, and he was they have a lot of bands there. They have a lot of live bands. There's a big building. They have the A&E American Optical AO. American Optical History Museum is there, and we toured that grounds too. It looked like little Chernobyl. I mean, it was crazy. Abandoned, big building, and I swear, because I did lives when I was going through there saying, I'm in Chernobyl. Do you know how many people thought I was really in Chernobyl? I couldn't believe it. No, everybody. I couldn't believe it.
7?
Yep, all of them. So I'm going and I'm driving through there, and that place was crazy. But they have the history building up there and a lot of artifacts. So there's a lot going on there. All right, now we were called in because they know what I do. They know that I was a paranormal investigator. They know I have a radio show. They
Right.
know all this stuff, and I'm into the paranormal.
Sure.
So they said, do you think that there could be an issue between the bar people and the kitchen people, because they're always fighting? So we
Don't
go
say
in.
that issue.
Oh no, there's a huge one. So we go in there. We're doing some, investigations and whatnot. Spirits there were crazy, but EMF. They had a point of sale machine that was right here, right between the pass through from the bar
Yeah.
to the kitchen, where the fighting was always happening. 900. The EMF meter went to
Oh, my God.
as high as it could go. And I
Right.
said, well, there's your issue, because you know the effects of EMF, what it can do. It can amplify your emotions.
Yeah, yeah.
It can amplify spirit activity. There was like this big vortex of spirit thing, but we had this big. I took in psychics. I took in a lot of people in there.
So wait, let me ask you a question. I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me ask you a question. Based on some of the terminology you're using, have you ever worked in a bar?
Have I worked in a bar?
A bar.
No, not a bar. A bar.
Have you worked in a bar?
I was a waitress many,
Yeah.
many
Okay.
million years
So
ago.
because you're just saying point of sale (POS) instead of register, you're saying like walk through and all these things. So when you worked at when you were a waitress, did people come in and trade stories? Like then we're talking about like before the paranormal was a thing.
I'm old. When I worked in a restaurant and in a
What the
bar,
heck with that?
It was a very long time ago.
No, it's the
It's
cord.
it's the
cord.
connection.
Push your hand
I
towards
have to get a new
the
cord for it.
But you're good again. So like
Stop.
so would people and like way back? Well, I don't know, way back. Sorry.
Haven't you
But like
trading stories
Yeah,
since
yeah.
you were a kid? Ghost stories. Where?
Yeah,
you know,
most certainly.
Where's the haunted house in your neighborhood?
so people were
Who's-
doing that before the shows came on
yes.
and all that.
Of course.
All right.
Of course. We were always dabbled in the psychic exchanges.
Yeah.
I had my girlfriend Rosie. She was the debutante on the top of the hill, and I was the peasant down the valley. But we were best friends, and her family was fantastic. But we still have a psychic connection. I swear to God.
It's-
But we worked on it. But we loved that stuff from when we were little.
So shoot me down or agree. Some of my favorite people to talk to when I travel are people that work at restaurants, people that work at bars, people that work at a
It's because
place.
they give you free drinks.
Well,
There
that
you go.
helps.
There you go. There's always that hook.
But like especially when you get them and you're chatting on an honest level, you get the good stories. It's like you get the stories of like, yeah, where should I go for some food around here? No. Don't tell me what the concierge is going to tell me. Tell me where you think I should go for the
yeah.
food,
Oh, yeah.
and also what kind of crazy stuff is happening around here. If you let them know, like, no, I don't want the tourist. I want you to tell me what you think is going on. That's when I think you get good information. And to take it back to JV's hometown, like, or where you live, like the Otasaga Hotel, like that downstairs basement in that hotel, like I've had so many great conversations
Yeah.
with some bartenders late at night when it's just like one person, and that's when they're like,
It's funny. I don't remember you calling me and saying, "Hey, come on down and have a beer." But
well, it was for
Well, what
research
did you do?
purposes, okay?
Well, yeah. What did you do? That's
I do remember a time where
Yeah, there was
I
one.
remember a few times. I remember a time I left like a bat in a bar. Do you remember that?
You did
Like,
what now?
I left like a Cooperstown
Oh, yeah,
bat
yeah,
in
yeah.
a bar, and I texted you the next day. I'm like, shit, man, I gotta get this bat out of this bar. Don't you know the owner? Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
I do. Yeah. That one I remember.
No, it almost smells like a pipe.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
like
So
that.
I want to kind of regroup here with our audience. We don't have any more questions in Facebook. What's going on in YouTube?
It's, so what do you think? Do you agree with that, Frank? Do you like when
What?
you go into roll into a place?
I'm sorry, you said something?
I did. When you roll into a place, do you like getting those stories out of the people that actually work at a
absolutely.
place?
Absolutely. And you always ask.
Yeah, nobody can hear what you're saying.
How about now?
Better.
All right.
All right,
So
Gina's
yeah.
out.
I'm gonna go.
All right.
I'm gonna go get Dave.
Gina,
and
where you
Steve.
going?
No,
I'm gonna
thank
get
you, Gina.
Dave and
No, you can let them do their thing. But we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Okay, we'll be talking to Dave and Steve tomorrow as well. So
And if
I
anybody
think
is
we
not
should have them
doing
come over for-
anything, you
Are they
all
up for it?
I
should
think they will.
come
Yeah.
down to Pennhurst and join us.
yes, come
absolutely.
down to Pennhurst Barracon. Come on down and well, you know where it is. It's Pennhurst.
Janice, go
Pennhurst.
ahead. If you have questions, go.
All right.
Enjoy the. Melissa, thank you for hanging out with us. Good night.
All right.
Thanks, Melissa.
Nice. Melissa, you're the best.
Okay, so
right.
one of the things we need to improve on here is being able to monitor all these chats going on because it's a little
Yeah, I
overwhelming.
feel like we're missing a couple.
No, we're
things.
missing a ton of stuff.
Sorry out there.
I can
if we are
barely
missing.
watch YouTube, which is a bit of a problem for a lot of reasons. But I won't even get into the fact that I had to go buy a laptop
maybe
that I'm
you
going to
should,
return
like,
tomorrow.
Single it to one chat room.
I don't think you're supposed to
specific
advertise that
for
part.
this for
What?
this group.
What's that? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
and that's what we did. But we have to build that first. So we're using
Dude, I get it.
the channels that are available to
Yeah.
us, which is
No,
my
man,
stuff at this
I get
point.
that.
Yeah. So having said that, go to Paranormal Happy Hour on Facebook.
Yes.
And like it because ultimately we'll end up there, and we'll have a YouTube channel probably as well. But in the meantime, this is where we are.
Yeah. So wait, here's a question, JV. Are we? I mean, it's Paranormal Happy Hour. How long have we been going for at the moment? And should we continue going, or should we regroup?
We're getting a whole
tomorrow?
bunch of hearts here. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know.
Yeah. What's the question that popped up right there?
Do any of you guys investigate alone?
Alone. What do you? Yeah. What are your thoughts about investigating alone?
All right.
Let me. Can I say one thing before you answer? Because your answer is going to be a lot longer than mine. I never had a problem investigating alone, and then I saw something on Facebook yesterday about this Waverly Hills challenge, where you're in the middle of a room and they put a hood over your head, so
this
you
is
can't
like-
see anything.
This is like a ghost bait situation.
Yeah.
That's messed up. That bothers
Yeah.
me.
So my take on the investigating alone is it kind of depends on what you're trying to get out of the experience. If you're trying to acquire evidence that you would then bring to a community and then a larger society, well, it's probably no good because you don't have anyone else to verify your experience. And I think it's like, from an investigative standpoint, not great. If you're just trying to get your own experience and convince yourself, it could be worthwhile for you. But there's a lot of different theories to it. What's your thought on that, Frank? Dr. Spector weighs in.
All right. So it all depends on the situation. If you investigate alone with a team behind you and you're on their, your closed circuit TV, okay, and people are watching, making sure you're safe,
May I look at this?
all right, not a bad idea. If you go to this abandoned building and you break in and you investigate and you're by yourself, bad idea on so many different levels. One, you don't know what kind of entity is there and what kind of thing might attach to you. B, you don't know the safety of the building. So, both are huge concerns.
As insightful as that was, I do have a offshoot question from the YouTubes, and the question is, JV is wearing pants tonight. Is this a first? What? I feel like that is a phenomena that
What
needs
now?
to be explained. Do you not normally wear pants when you, first off, if this is the first, thank you. Thank you for wearing pants tonight. I'm personally appreciative of this.
All right. So wait. So this is a question that I mean.
Yeah, this is Philip Blair.
All right. I frequently get asked to not wear pants, but I don't ever accommodate that ever. So you don't need to worry about that.
I appreciate this. See, we're
So many jokes, so little time.
Since this is our first outing, this is also like we're working through our own personal
Why did the
situations and
crickets
everything.
come back? The crickets came back when Gina left.
So I'm back.
Oh, you're back.
Gina,
I just came back to get a chair. And I'm back.
Any other good questions out of this?
Who has any questions about Pennhurst? What goes on at Pennhurst? Want to know what goes on at Pennhurst? JV, Aaron are going to be
Yo.
doing lectures at Pennhurst. They're going to be doing live radio feed from Pennhurst. We have acts going on. We have tours going on. We have mini ghost hunts all day long going on. We have main ghost hunts at night. Yes.
Have you ever Okay, here's
Frank is doing lectures.
here's a random one.
This one right here.
thanks for that.
Frank is doing lecture. Frank has got the best lecture.
In your journeys, in your travels, have you ever? All right, I'm gonna out myself here. Like, so when I do EVP sessions, I like to. I always like to ask weird questions, but also questions that I think, like, if there's something else out there and is paying attention, that might engage it a little bit. Talk about music, talk about food, but
Or talk about pop music.
pop music. I will ask about.
Talk.
I've asked questions like, is there a Bigfoot out there? And anybody asked like random stuff or gotten random pieces of evidence, like off of just bizarre situations. Yes, Dr. Spector, you don't have to raise your hand. This is the
I have
paranormal
a
happy hour
question.
bar, not the paranormal class.
It's Paranormal Lounge.
But kind of going off of that, have you ever been doing an investigation and got evidence that might suggest this is alien activity as opposed to paranormal?
There's a lot of theories about it. There's a
Yeah.
lot of theories that like.
Well, now I know there's a lot of theories that alien abduction and demon possession are very similar. I've actually spoken on this, but
I will say that a lot of times I try to avoid using the word ghost because I don't know what the hell it is. If something's popping through, or some sort of phenomena is happening, I can't with any certainty say that it is a ghost versus something from another dimension, or time or place out there,
like I said,
or
on Paranormal 13 News now I do that, little snippets, and we have little.
you're like a plug machine. You are.
I am.
I'm.
Plug it all.
Oh, I can plug it up.
and that's
You know,
not
you
said
know
with
what?
disrespect. It's
Let's
like
say I'm Gina B. in
you're
the place
on
to be.
message.
P. Fox, Paranormal Princess, Gina Bankston, who's live on Thursday evenings, 8 to 10, every Thursday on DTMWickedRadio.com.
Nice.
There you
In
go.
the Fox Den, because why? Because I'm the Parafox. Right? So, I can continue. Ghostly Excursions.
Keep doing it.
Janice, what do you mean you opened the door?
Plug them all.
What about the guy that was abducted 11 times?
Ghost Detectives.
Wait, which guy was abducted?
Yeah, I'm not sure who she's
Can
talking
you
about.
give us a name? We've got a question coming in from the Facebook saying, what about the guy that was abducted 11 times? I don't know. There's a lot of people that say that they were abducted multiple times. And then Janice says she opened the door. Oh, probably to questions, I guess.
Right. I did just actually come over to grab a chair.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
I'm
okay.
going to be going back out. But if the crickets come back.
The crickets are back. I can hear them
crickets are
loud
back.
and clear.
Or are they?
All right, so ciao for now. We will see you at Pennhurst. I can keep plugging. I have lots of things to plug.
Oh, yeah. Janice brought the crickets back.
All right.
And they're gone. Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh, look at the crowd
Camera's
showing up.
coming.
Look at all these people now. All these people. You know, I'd love to have somebody in the audience come up and give us a paranormal story, but nobody can hear that I'm asking that.
Wait,
So,
you want me to get somebody?
yeah, we do that. Do that.
Go get us someone.
Who's got a great paranormal
Yeah.
story?
So let's remind people while we're here, Aaron, because I can barely say it anymore.
I don't, JP, I don't even think I know why we're here anymore. This has been both successful and chaotic.
That was the word I was going for as well.
It's-
Here's the thing:
so here's-
we need a producer that can keep us on track because
Yeah.
we get easily distracted.
Right. Well, it's a live stream, and then that's
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so the point of the paranormal happy hour. Okay, the point of the paranormal happy hour is the idea that people tell ghost stories all the time, and where do they tell them most often? In a gathering space, a pub, a bar, and we wanted to bring all these paranormal theories and stories and exciting experiences to the bar.
Yeah.
To the bar,
Right.
have a couple drinks if you so choose, and trade stories and trade the excitement, and then also go off on tangents as necessary, which I think anyone that's been listening to us for the last hour has heard plenty of tangents. It has been happening. But you can hear sort of the din of chatter behind us, which I also like. in addition to the crickets that are.
No, I
that
actually
are
think it's a
back there.
little better than the crickets. I mean, the crickets are fun and all, but the din of people chatting out there is actually a little more exciting. By the way, I don't know, did everybody see Steve and Dave kind of peek in there for a sec? Yeah.
I don't know if they all saw them, but they were indeed there. Steve Gonzalez, Dave Tango were popping through. Coming up on Ghost Nation
Yeah, that's
on
yeah,
Travel Channel
That's right. That's
with
right.
Jason Ellis. Ghost Nation.
That's right. So anyway, yeah. So as Aaron was saying, we're trying to bring a relaxed approach to these paranormal discussions. Give you an opportunity to ask questions. Oh, what the hell?
Listen, you crazy cats.
Yeah.
Wait.
You wanted a good paranormal story? I got you one.
Okay.
You did get us one.
Okay.
So wait.
Hold on, we're not ready yet.
So we're about to do that, and we're about to bring you on. And first off, hi, my name's Aaron.
Sabrina Myers.
Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina.
Just lean in a little bit to the mic. It's been a little wonky
It's a
for
little
us this evening.
fickle.
And no.
Nope. It's the mic. It's the cord.
Can you hear me now?
There
Yes,
it is.
yes.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
now
So
we're
Sabrina, first off, I have to say, I am a diehard nerd. We've not met before. I'm a dedicated diehard nerd, and I'm already seeing some Jedi Order tattoo
Yep.
on you. I see a Rebel Alliance. I see a Wonder Woman tattoo. I see it looks like a Darth Vader cell phone case. So I
you
feel
saw that.
like we need to talk. We need to talk about some of your nerddoms here first and foremost. Any other nerdiness?
Oh, that's
going-
Princess
Oh, you got
Leia.
Leia. Yeah,
That's Princess
okay.
Leia.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It's, yeah. She's my princess. I'm a big fan of Leia. My Disney princess.
I got her right after she passed. So,
Yeah.
that was done
Well,
after she
Carrie
passed.
Fisher. I'm a big fan of Carrie Fisher. I unfortunately was not able to work with her, but I was supposed to on 2 occasions right before she passed away, which really sucked. But so she's awesome. And so so there's this right now. There's this cross section of paranormal and fandom and nerdery happening right now.
Awesome.
With you. So first off, since we've not met, tell us a little bit about who you're with, how you came to be here at Pennhurst Paracon tonight.
Well, this is my 3rd Paracon actually for Pennhurst.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
we got you.
And I was with South Jersey Ghost Research many
Right.
moons ago, and I met, of
What
course,
the-
Bella and Frank and Bob throughout the years. Was with the first Paracon with Pennhurst, and then the last 2. Well, this one coming up. So, been doing paranormal and negative cases for probably about 8 years now.
Negative cases.
Negative cases. So I was with Dave Giuliano. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What do you think is the connection between Star Wars and the paranormal?
Star Wars have just always been a part of me since Star Wars. Just watching Star Wars, I would just watch it over and over and over again to the point where I would just recite everything. But I always connected between the Star Wars and the paranormal as far as like the negative cases, the light and the dark.
Yeah.
So it was always that connection there.
I actually think that the idea of the Force is so relevant to paranormal investigations, or at least the idea of paranormal investigations, because this idea that there's an energy that binds us and connects us and
Right.
flows through all things. I mean, in a lot of ways, like when you approach a paranormal case, is that something you have in the back of your mind, that there is this
yeah.
energy that flows through all of us?
Oh, definitely, especially spiritually too.
Yeah?
You know, especially metaphysically and spiritually, you always have. There's just the combination of that light and dark, and using, say the Force is with you, and you're just putting that energy to help others. And I can't really explain it. I think you got to be in that moment to really. Of course, you probably felt that moment at one point in your life.
So, but Sabrina, you're wearing, you have tattoos. Do your tattoos, I see also an angel.
Yes.
And do these tattoos kind of tell a story about your own journey through the paranormal and your own belief system?
Yes. Actually, there is a story with the angel. Marty was in our group, Marty Haynes. I don't know if you met her. She taught me everything. She was my mentor.
Yeah.
And one time she was teaching mediumship classes, and she said, you know, if you had a vision of your guide or your angels, or who was with you, draw that person or
Yeah.
that angel. And so I decided to draw this angel, and then all of a sudden I just decided to get a tattoo of her. Recently, about like the February of this past year, all of a sudden I was sitting in bed and I was going through a really tough time emotionally. And all of a sudden I saw the angel appear, and it's exactly the same angel that I have tattooed on my arm.
So let me ask you a question then. You know, everyone's, well, maybe not everyone, but a lot of people's tattoos kind of like has I mean, it obviously has significance, but do you feel like going through life that this tattoo, this image of this angel, does it serve as a calming presence, as a protection, as something that is watching over you?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Because when I got into the mediumship and the paranormal and into the negative cases, everything changed for me spiritually, emotionally, and I felt more of the presence around me protecting me, and more of the angels and people telling me that, you know, that there's an angel behind me, and I always felt this presence. So as soon as she asked me what to draw, and I put that out there, and I knew this is who was with me.
Yeah.
And especially with the cases, always there with the cases.
Do you, well, first off, this is totally flippant question, but do you need a drink or anything?
No.
No, okay. All right.
Do I need it?
No?
No,
You
I'm
good?
okay,
Do you
yeah.
have one floating around here? Or?
Taryn might have it. I don't know where she went, but
All right. What are you drinking tonight?
vodka and water.
All right, vodka and water. That's good because you stay hydrated and get inebriated all at once.
Exactly.
If we can get a vodka and water for Sabrina, that would be great. Can we make that happen? All right, we're gonna make that happen for you. All right, so when you go to a bar or whatever,
You have an invisible bartender somewhere. I don't know.
we
have
well,
people.
We have people. We're very connected. we're a very big deal. So do people ask questions about it when you go into a bar or whatnot? Your tattoos and stuff?
It depends. It's either somebody's going off of this one or this one.
I didn't
Yeah.
see the other side. What's that one?
That's the skull.
Oh,
There's a
okay.
skull there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But a lot of, usually on the street, I usually get people.
Yeah.
You know, like an elderly lady will walk by and just stop, and they're like, "Hey, I like that tattoo." I'm like, "Oh, cool, thank you."
So you roll into a community area, be it a bar, on the street, whatever it is, and people start asking questions. And let's say they say like, I don't buy it. I'm not into the ghosts. I'm not into the afterlife. I'm not into the paranormal. I'm not into that hippy dippy woo woo kind of stuff. What do you say?
I usually tell them if you don't experience what I experience, then you're not going to get it. And sometimes that you're getting a message and it's only for you. You might not understand it and you might not get it, but unfortunately, I've witnessed it, and there's nothing you could change that about me, and that's just how you feel. But I'm not going to have anyone change my faith or anything that happened in my life in the paranormal. No one can do that, because I've seen things that I can't explain. No, I can't explain it. Or if I can explain it, it's not for them to understand. It's for
Right.
me.
It's your
to get.
experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, it seems deeply personal and deeply significant to you. If you were going to sum up sort of this whole paranormal shebang in one like piece of imagery or a thing that like that resonates with you, is it the angel or is it something else, or what's the thing that like when people use the word paranormal, ghosts, what is it?
What is it? All right, rephrase that question again. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize. It's just like if I'm sitting next to you, I'm a stranger. Well, I am. We just met.
What he's really asking is, what 80s song best represents your belief in the paranormal?
80s song. Oh my God, you're putting me on the spot
Yeah, we
here.
are.
What a feeling.
Oh, good.
Flash dance. Okay.
Did you have that question in the back of your pocket? or
No,
was that
I
on the
just
fly?
came out-
That
it
was
was on the
good. That was
fly,
a
yeah.
a good question.
Yeah, thank you.
He's a professional. I'm almost
That's pretty
professional.
That's pretty funny. Are you serious with the 80s question?
Well, you already
Well,
answered
you
it. That was
answered
good.
it, so it's on record
you,
now.
You killed it.
Yeah.
It was all good. All
Yeah.
good.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just like it's fascinating to me. Like people, I think there's a lot of people out there that they may not believe, but they wanna hear that story almost to kind of like the old like Mulder, like Fox Mulder, like or X Files. I want to believe. Do you find that a lot?
Yeah.
Do you find people like interact with you and they're like,
Well, I am a bartender, so.
Oh, you're the
So it's
bartender.
it's funny.
Okay,
I was
well,
like, we were
dude,
barred and drink.
that was burying
So
the
I
lead. We should have opened with that.
actually-
Yeah, like
I'm empty here.
Yeah, I know. All right, so
So
okay,
I
so
actually
you hear
get
this
a lot
lot.
of these questions a lot.
Oh,
yeah.
what do you get? What's the most frequently asked question?
Usually it's like, well, why do you have, like you said before with the angel, why do you have the angel, on your arm? I have a St. Michael emblem
Okay.
or a cross on my back, and people ask me, why I have that. And I usually tell them protection. I'm in the field.
So you
and then
you
they'll go
put it
into
out there.
Yeah.
You admit
Oh,
it
yeah.
like right away.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
And-
or
and
like
when you say
normal
that-
people, you're at the other end of the bar, and they're asking you questions. What do you do? What do you do for outside of work? And then I go out. I say it. I tell them all the time. Yeah, I'm an investigator. I do this. I do that.
Do they follow up with their own stories? They're like
Sometimes. Oh yeah.
they're like
Yeah.
kind of like as we said earlier tonight, like the I don't buy it, but there was this one
There-
time.
There are a lot of people who actually will tell you their stories.
I need to ask a very important of the audience. Who's getting us a drink?
Where is Frank?
Yeah, where's Frank is the answer. Thank you. Thank
Well,
you.
it's like he-
Vodka, soda, whatever.
He got off. Oh, and Sabrina will take a
I'll have the same thing. It's
Mr.
fine.
Bartender. Zach, could we could also Sabrina vodka water, please?
Soda, whatever the soda.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the problem.
This is the authentic part of the
Yeah,
the
this is
show,
how- this is
like
how it
where
really
we're
works.
not faking this. We
This-
are actually trying to order drinks, and not always good at it.
No, we're kind of failing, actually.
Yeah, we are. So if people follow up with like, yeah, here's my one time. Was it
Yes.
like the most like, especially as someone in the field, has there ever been a story that a bar patron's told you where you're like, wow, even by my calculations, that's pretty messed up?
Usually it's just little mundane things like, oh, when I was a kid, the common stories that, I was lying in bed or I saw a shadow figure and my mom wouldn't believe me, or, oh, I used to play with the Ouija board
Right,
and,
right.
I had this happen to me where it spelled a word and I freaked out. I never had a really crazy
It's
story,
just
but
what
it's
a
always this-
feeling.
I think it's like I'm trying to get a lighter
Having your
for,
head all night long, so
but
you
continue
don't-
on. Don't pay me no mind. Most people don't.
Sadly, you're still on camera, so
I
when you
know.
do,
They're only seeing my torso dance. Look at that. Hey guys, this is my I need something dance. But no, keep on. Please continue.
So, I mean, really, like the Ouija board, they'll talk about the Ouija board all the time. You get that a lot.
everybody, yeah. I mean, that's,
everybody.
That's,
It
that's
always
a lot of
seems
people's.
to be the common
But it's a
story.
lot of it's the way a lot of people are introduced
Mm-hmm.
to this whole idea. Good, bad, and different. That's the way they get introduced to it.
Yeah. Or like Gettysburg. Have you been to Gettysburg? They'll ask me where I've been, and oh, have you been to Gettysburg, or have you been to Pennhurst or
Yeah.
or Eastern State? Have you done that or done this? And sometimes they'll have their own experience, like if they visited them, like say like Eastern State during the day, and they'll say, well, there's some crazy stuff going on there, or I felt this. A lot of it, it's pretty funny that we're talking about this as a bartender. If there was a patron, they'll also try to figure out energy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, I went into this place and I felt this, and then that's when I start where, the empath and the abilities and all the different energies and try to explain to them what they're feeling so they understand it. And then that's when, the patrons are like in awe of your conversation. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's
I
pretty
mean,
fun.
it attracts attention.
Yeah.
It gathers ears. I mean, people
Yeah.
listen to that. Yeah.
Especially when they're drinking.
Right. Well, that's what this is about right here. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the whole idea.
Do you have you ever gotten any like UFO stories or anything out of people?
Well, I was just talking about this to somebody last week. We were talking about UFOs, Paranormal Brew. We go once a week called Paranormal Brew, and we were talking about the Area 51 craze that's going on
the
right
Storm
now.
Area 51.
And we were talking about if we had any experience. And there was only one time that I had an experience where I was just driving down the road and I saw something catch me at the corner of my eye, and it was this bright light. But the problem was it didn't go this way or this. It shot backwards and up, and it wasn't like a shooting star or anything. I'm like,
Right.
What was that? To this day, it bothers me. What was that? What was I seeing? Was it just my eyes just playing tricks on me, or what happened? But it always bothered me. Always did.
Where'd you grow up?
South Philly.
South Philly.
Yeah.
All right. So was there any really good South Philly urban legends that you were told as a kid?
Not in South Philadelphia. No, not in South Philly. Normally, I would be running around the cemeteries when I was younger.
Well, I
I was
think,
trying
yeah.
to, lift.
Does everybody seem to think Aaron sounds way too sober?
Do I?
You were
But-
supposed to keep talking.
But no, we would have more so, like urban legend was Byberry. That was what we were used to when I moved up northeast Philadelphia.
What's-
Byberry there was an asylum that was there, and there was a lot of terrible happenings in the asylum.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it was
come
like,
on in.
It was urbanex. Everybody would go and try to hang out and
Yeah.
try to investigate.
Give it up for Zach, by the way. Thank you so much, Zach, for
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, man.
you.
Thank
being
you
our
so much.
delivery
Thank
man.
you so much.
You're
Yes.
hired, by the way.
Yeah.
We
Job
don't
is
pay
filled.
at all. There's zero benefits, but you get to appear on a prestigious
Cricket.
stream.
Do you hear that cricket?
He's back.
It's over there.
Is it the same
Because
guy?
when I took the headphones
is it one
off,
cricket?
it's one cricket. It's one loud ass cricket, and it's over there.
Should we get him on the show? What's his appearance fee? But yeah, so Byberry, that was your thing.
Yeah,
What was,
Byberry was the thing.
did you grow up with any urban legends?
Yeah, kind of. Actually, well, mine was more true crime.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a woman I grew up in Oneonta, New York, which was a railroad town, and there was a woman there who used to have a boarding house for railroad workers that would come in and not stay for long enough to actually get a home. And she ended up having a romantic relationship with one of those railroad workers. And I don't know what the motivation was of it, but at some point she got insurance policies on this guy and decided she was going to kill him to get the insurance money. And she took him up to what is now the Boy Scout camp, Crumhorn Mountain. And she took him up in her car, and they were, necking as they did back in whatever year this was. And asked her, somehow she was getting ready to leave and said, I think my tire's flat. Will you go look at the back tire? And ran over the guy.
Wow.
Now,
Ouch.
there's a hint of truth to this whole story.
Yeah.
There's part of this really did happen, but it became such an Oneonta legend that I would consider it to be an urban legend.
Yeah.
And there were actually some documentaries that were made, like low-budget YouTube kind of things that talk about this particular story. And I'm really surprised it hasn't been picked up. But her name was Eva Koo.
Was she arrested? Did she go to jail for this? Did she
She
get off
was
the hook?
no, she was arrested. She was convicted, and I think she may have been the first woman executed in New York State.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of stories that have like similar origins of what is that one? There's one in it's along Route 66. I was researching this recently about different, but it's a woman that ran a bordello and with her sons, and they would bring in customers, and then basically she would whack them over the head with an axe, and then they would disappear. But they were very transient, kind
Yeah,
of
right.
like either railroad workers
Right,
or
right.
whatever, so she could kind of collect their money, and then no one would miss them.
Right,
You know.
right.
And as tragic as it is, you also have to give credit to the fact that like these women during a time when they lacked a lot of power and agency took it for themselves. They were
did,
just
yeah,
like, screw
they
it.
did.
Like these,
Get me the axe.
I need, yeah, like that's right. Like I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
But I happen to love urban legends so much because there is often an element of truth
Yeah.
in the past there. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a shame that Byberry's pretty much gone, but there's a lot of history behind it.
Yeah.
A lot of urban X people used to go there and hang out, and they used to talk about all the shadows and everything that went on there and the screams.
yeah.
It's a shame it's gone though.
Yeah. It's so I mean, like, also in your work as a bartender, what are the signs when people talk to you where you think they're full of shit?
What are the signs? Usually when it's like they're talking about like we were just talking about the Ouija board, and they're talking crazy things like it moved itself without holding it, and I just sometimes like there was one that they said they weren't holding it. It's like it moved on itself, and I didn't believe that. Things that are just the way, I think it's the way they talk. I think they were trying to probably see if I would, get really hyped and maybe join their group, have them join us in the group.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when I usually I don't think that's necessary.
Do you ever think sometimes people are just like they're filling in the gaps of their memory with more eccentric details?
Oh,
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
some
that's the
things
problem.
are suppressed. Yeah.
That's a
That's
problem.
memory, period.
That's memory. Period. Exactly right. In fact, somebody asked me yesterday, who the hell was I talking to yesterday that said, "What's your earliest?" Maybe it was my radio show. It was my radio show. I was interviewing a guy, and he said, "What was your earliest memory of your childhood? What year? How old were you?"
Oh, I don't
At the
even remember.
early, and I'm like, I can't remember. But you know what you do remember is you remember what other people told you,
Right.
and you remember what few pictures came from that time, and you create the story around it.
I have this distinct memory of my paternal grandfather
That's
being like I was a little boy, like a baby, basically, infant or toddler or whatever, on the ground, and I just have this image of like their house, him walking around, smoking a cigarette or whatever, but he died before I was born.
Oh,
I never met.
that's odd.
I never met my paternal grandfather.
Yeah.
Apparently, he was a bastard. And yet that memory is still locked in my brain. And I'm like, well, how did that get there?
Yeah, right.
How did that one get there?
Right.
Because it's not even like a story I've been telling. Like, it's not like a detail of like a couple weeks ago I went to a concert and I saw this or whatever. It's not like it's personal, but it doesn't feel like a personal memory.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Memory is such a weird thing.
It's a very weird thing. It can be created, and it can be created from a lot of different sources.
Yeah, yeah. I do think that is a challenge with paranormal and paranormal investigations.
I agree completely.
We are so impressionable.
Yep. You think so?
I actually have a story as a bartender having a paranormal experience
Oh.
at a bar.
Oh,
Tell
nice.
us.
So down South Philly, well, South Street. I don't know if you're aware
Yeah.
of South Street.
No idea.
You know, Pat
Yeah.
Steaks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
There is a bar. It was called Dobbs. It's
Okay.
called Dobbs, and it used to have concerts there up on the second floor, and this is where Pearl Jam came out of. They
Right.
were there. Nirvana used to play there. I was bartending one time, and I was downstairs bar, and all of a sudden, I was locking up, and there's the bar stools just moving around like crazy upstairs. So me and another bartender go running up, and there was nobody there, absolutely nobody there. So then we came down. All of a sudden, the belt was missing. This guy's belt was missing. He had taken it off. And then I went up to the manager the next day. I'm like, well, all these things were happening and everything. He's like, oh, well, you met so and so, and he used to be a homeless man that lived in the bar up on the 3rd floor, and he passed away up there. So he's like, you're probably seeing him or hearing him.
Do you believe it?
Yes, because downstairs in the basement I was getting beer, and I picked up Miller Lite, and the lights started flickering on and off. And the manager did tell me that homeless man would, every night after he got his money from panhandling, he would come back to the bar and get the Miller Lite and go back up to the 3rd. I actually wrote it in Encounters with the Paranormal, that story, with Mike Ricksecker.
Oh, nice.
So that's
nice.
in the volume 3 book, that story. But it was pretty fun.
By the way, I want to say goodnight to Janice.
Good night, Janice.
She had a lot of great questions.
You did.
Has left.
Well, she's gone. But thank you, Janice.
Yeah.
Any
Good
other
question.
questions coming in through the Facebook feed or YouTube or...
I don't know. I can't.
You can't manage
I
all of it.
can't juggle
if,
it all.
If you just leave the
I try, but it keeps
YouTube
closing.
live,
It keeps closing
I'll take a
on
look
me.
at it.
Keeps closing on me. And the damn cricket.
So our most vocal guest. Do you think it's a ghost cricket? Can you hear the cricket?
Do you hear it?
I hear the cricket.
It's right over there. It's in that corner, right over there.
So everybody wants their own show. Damn it! Everybody wants to be talent, and that's the thing. Do you believe in the Jersey Devil? Because that's kind of connected to Philly.
Jersey, yeah.
Well, it's Jersey,
yeah,
but he was
but
seen in the Pennsylvania area
I
as
have
well.
personally not seen the
That's
Jersey
not what I
Devil,
asked. That's
but
not what I asked, Sabrina.
I always believe that if we exist, anything could exist.
Oh, you are so you're dancing around this. I'm putting you on the spot. Do you believe in the Jersey Devil? Do you think that there is, okay, we won't even say origin or where it comes from. Do you think there is something out there in the woods, the Pine Barrens, the woods, that is not human, stalking about out there? Not human and not typical animal. A cryptid, some other being.
I think it's possible.
No.
But
No.
okay,
Get
no.
off that
No,
fence.
no. I
No.
don't believe
Why?
it.
Why?
Why? I believe the story is pretty fun. You got to admit the story is a fun story. It's pretty out there. Can it happen?
Well, okay, do you believe in Bigfoot? Or Sasquatch? I've heard that it does not like to be called Bigfoot, but do you believe in Sasquatch?
Yes.
Why?
I think there's more witness accounts than the Jersey Devil.
Okay, but why could something like Sasquatch exist and not the Jersey Devil? I know.
I think it's
I'm putting you
more
on
of
the
a
spot.
hybrid of an animal that's just bigger, but
Jersey Devil?
the Jersey Devil, at one time I did believe, but yes. Good night.
What?
Oh,
What?
good night.
What
She's
now?
putting me on the spot now.
What?
The Jersey Devil.
Devil.
Jersey Devil.
Jersey
Do
Devil.
I believe in it? It's just more credible for me to feel that Bigfoot exists.
Do you
than the
believe
Jersey
in
Devil.
aliens?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster?
No.
So what, okay, and I'm sorry, I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm going to ask you this question. Or we'll offer it to everyone, anyone out there in the comments or whatever, JV, this rules, these boundaries that we place on, what is going to be likely or not. So if you believe that there are extraterrestrials visiting Earth, and you believe that there is Sasquatch out there, where do you draw the line as well, no, that could never exist?
I didn't say it can't, I said it's possible. I
you
No,
didn't
don't-
say
but
it
you
you don't
also
believe
you
it.
also said something very important. You said the number of reports.
Reports.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, there are way more reports of Sasquatch type creatures, and than there are of even Loch Ness monster or Jersey Devil.
Well, now there was. I mean, there was. I forget what year it was. There was essentially called the Year of Terror, where there was people reporting what came to be known as the Jersey Devil. Where so much so that like, not only was the Philadelphia Inquirer reporting on it, the president at the time commented on it. They put a bounty out on its head. The Philadelphia Zoo wanted to capture it. Like it was a hubbub. And maybe those people were just overreacting, but there was a lot of people reporting on it and responding to it.
I think the Jersey Devil is just a
Get right on the mic.
Lean in.
Get right on the mic.
What's your name?
Taryn.
Taryn?
Taryn,
Yes.
lean in on the mic. Taryn, by the way, is drinking out of New Kids on the Block.
Yes, they rock.
Glammed up mug.
Forever.
of 80s.
So, not paranormal, but definitely, I don't know, supernatural. I don't know. What would you? But okay, Taryn, lean in. You. What about the Jersey Devil?
The Jersey Devil, I think the Jersey Devil just is a myth. I think some woman had a baby that was, back in the day, was just deformed. And it became this big, huge, like, legend, myth.
Why'd so many people report on seeing it?
It's the same thing. Okay, I overheard you guys talking.
Well, that's the idea, actually.
Yeah.
We want people to hear us talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point.
I don't. Well, I'm gonna backtrack. That's why I said that. I know you guys were already like talking about stuff. So, I don't believe in crypto. What do you call it? Cryptozoology, like the Loch Ness, the Jersey Devil.
You don't believe in
I don't
Sasquatch?
believe in Sasquatch.
Do you
UFOs
believe
can be
in-
Just, I think that there's other beings. I don't think they're little green men with big black eyes, and I think that there are other life forms somewhere. But I don't believe
You're
in
better in this chair.
aliens. I think that the people that have said that, because I've experienced spirit energy, and I'm sure that there's people that think I'm crazy for believing in that. So I'm not going to say that people are crazy for
S code from the. Okay.
It's classified information.
How do you guys know each other?
We go way back.
We go way back. Wow, that's that's an
Yeah,
ambiguous,
yeah. I have a
mysterious.
Paranormal Brew. We used to do a podcast. We don't podcast anymore, so now it's just we do Facebook Live every week, and Sabrina became a part of that.
All right.
And Beth, I don't know where Beth went. She left. Beth is a part of that. So-
Nobody can hear
we
what-
met
nobody
with
can hear.
South Jersey.
All right. So
Nobody can hear
let me
me.
ask you this.
we met at we were in a group that I'm not going to mention. I never
I've already
mention it.
mentioned it.
Oh. So we met when we became a part of a group.
So okay, hard hitting question here. Okay, lean in on the mic on this one. All right.
Gotcha.
So, let's say you exist as a ghost and you're gonna come back and haunt one of the new kids on the block. On an NKOTB. Who is it going to be?
So as I get older, the guys change. So I would have to say that it definitely would have to be Joey.
Why?
Joey.
Why Joey?
He's got this thing now. Like it's just when he sings, this vein comes out.
This vein
It's like-
comes
Oh,
out.
so it's like a sexy thing. So you're gonna haunt him for sexy
Yeah,
purposes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, who would be the person that you would haunt for like just terrifying purposes, just to be like, I just want to scare the shit
be
out
an
of
asshole?
you. Yeah, yeah, to
To
be an
mean
asshole. Yeah.
to?
No, to scare, to scare.
To be mean to.
Mean to, yeah, mean to.
Michael Vick.
Oh, okay.
That's not New Kids on the
Oh,
Block.
you want to know a new kid? Well,
Well,
I
I
would
mean,
not
I-
be mean to them.
I'm on board with the Michael Vick thing too, but all right. Any other pop stars that you want to come back and haunt?
Am I being mean? Or
No, you choose. Lean in, Taryn. Come on, we want your responses. Come on, who else are you gonna come back and haunt?
who would have come back and haunt?
She's thinking. We got an
Would it be
answer.
a Sexual? Am I allowed to say this? Like, what are we allowed to talk about? on
Oh, I
this
think
podcast?
you're allowed to talk about this. I know I want to hear it.
So there's two: Brad Pitt
Yeah.
and BT Urula. He's like on my list. I would totally sexually haunt them.
Sexually. All right, wait. Okay, so
There's
circling
different
back.
levels
All right,
of
come on, lean in on the
haunting.
mic here because I got an important question for you.
Sitting here.
All
I'm
right.
scared.
No, wait, no, Sabrina,
just
you're not let
saying.
off the hook. All right, important question.
Yes.
So this is a callback to earlier when we were talking about this. If you are haunted by a ghost in a sexual manner, consensually, is it cheating? Terrence, thinking about this. There's some deep
Yes, it would be if it's consensual.
consensual sexual haunting.
If
You
it's
know,
consensual, yes. If you, yeah,
I would
it's
have to
cheating.
agree.
yeah.
Wait, Sabrina agrees. Lean in, Sabrina. You
I'm
agree?
gonna tell you.
I would
this,
have to agree. Yes.
That the most scariest movie I've ever seen was The Entity.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
see,
where
I was
Barbara Hershey is.
yes.
I
yeah,
was thinking
right,
about
yeah.
this. Is what I was thinking about
But
earlier.
at one point, she goes to her therapist and she's like, I enjoyed it,
Yeah,
and it messed her up. Like that movie.
But it wasn't consensual for her.
Right, it
wasn't,
was not.
But at that point, there was that one point. Oh my God. Don't watch it alone. It's the scariest movie.
It's a good movie.
It holds up as a
it's
really
really a good
scary
one.
movie. Yeah.
It's really a good one.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. But it really is on my number one most scariest movie ever. Like, but there was that one point where she thought she was sleeping, but she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And then she woke up and she felt guilty because she enjoyed it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly.
I mean, at that point, is that cheating? No, because she didn't really know what was going on. She
Right.
was kind of sleeping. But like, if you know it's happening, and you're like, yes, bring it. That's totally.
But Brad Pitt is your sexual haunt.
Yeah. Oh, I would totally. I would rape him. Like I would just.
Consensually.
I was away from the mic.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
still
think he
picked
would
you
be
up though, Terrence.
consensual. Can you?
Nope,
I don't
it's
know.
on the record. I don't know if you have
what I'm
it.
allowed to say and not say. I'm not sure.
Well, you said it either way. I don't know if you have a significant other out there, but hey, significant other.
He wouldn't be listening anyway. He's not. He's not into this stuff. So.
Well, and did you have any additional thoughts on that? Who would you haunt?
Who would I
It doesn't have to be sexual. She took it that way, but it doesn't have to be.
No, you said it. Did I tell you that?
You know, I just lead the witness, but the witness goes there. Like, so who would you haunt?
Who would I haunt?
Doesn't have to be famous, but could be famous. Yeah, who would you haunt that was famous?
Who would I haunt that was famous?
But lean in on the mic when you
I'm
say
sorry.
this.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay because
Put
this
me
is
on
going to
the
be a good
spot all
answer.
the time.
Well, yeah, I
I'm
know.
So tired.
I know. This is where we get good answers.
Who would I haunt? I would have to say Jonathan Davis from Korn.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I love him.
If you know that when you die, you could like be wherever you want to be, where would you be?
All right. So,
What?
in case we didn't pick that up, like, you want to lean in and say that again? That was a good question.
If you know like when you die, you could go and just live, quote unquote live, or be wherever and haunt wherever. Where would you want to be?
I know where you want to be.
Well, aside from Joey.
I am. You guys can come there. If I die before you guys, come there. I'll totally.
Oh,
hook
thanks.
You guys
This is
up
like,
with a
do I
lot
have
of
to
evidence.
RSVP for this? Like,
No, not at all. I'm going to be at the Eisenhower Farmhouse in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
that's where you're gonna haunt?
That is where I'm going to